boop, boop. It says I'm live. Am I? I don't know. God, my hair is so flat. Oh, man, I really... All right. Obviously, you know I'm going to try not to look at myself too much here. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. I need my water, guys. Okay. I got it. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Hi, everyone. Oh, yeah. Let's see who we got here. We got game design. That's my friend Nima. Hi there. Got Uncle Creepy, aka Crispy Knee. Hello. Yo. How you doing? Victor. Pleasure as always. White Swan. Thank you for being here. Okay. Got some things to talk about today. So if you guys could, I'm just going to say at the beginning of the video here for anyone watching now and in the future, if you could please hit the thumbs up button for me on my video, I would really appreciate that. Oh, Joanna, you're here too. Thank you for being here. It's another reason why I have my phone here. I just remembered. Oh, my hair is getting too long and I need to get it dyed. Look at my blonde hair showing up. Oh, how's it all been going, guys? Let me know in the chat. How is the Mercury retrograde coming out of that, and the equinox and Aries season happening? How's everyone hanging in there? Because it's been kind of strange one for me. Well, not only that, but we just passed a major important date for me specifically as the Blue Fairy. Okay. Yeah, right. It is good. I'm glad to be out of the retrograde, but now I honestly see what an important energy role that it plays, and really like being able to use it to reflect back on things. And as I was saying, though, this is a majorly important time period for me, because if any of you know or remember anything about my story, well, then you know that I had my heart activation ceremony, aka my sacred marriage to God, or my genetic equal twin flame, whatever you want to fucking words you want to put on it. I had that experience 5 years ago on 3/14. And I'm looking back at it now, and some very interesting things have stood out about it, and I plan on talking about that some. So hey there, Susan, good to see you. So first of all, though, I think we should jump into the new moon ritual, because as you know, I like to do these rituals usually. Hi there, Jason. I like to do them usually on the full moons. I've been doing them with some of my girlfriends for oh, hello, Jason, good to see you here. The other Jason. Two Jasons here, missing time, and the other one. So as you know, like I was saying, I've been doing these full moon rituals with my girlfriends. But after we did the first one, some major crazy stuff started happening, in my life. And I didn't know what had happened or what went wrong, but it felt like everything got disheveled, so to speak. And I didn't know if it was because we were asking to like climb up higher on timelines, and so therefore by the principles on the laws of manifestation that I work with, I know that when you ask for a rebalancing of that, like a lift up, so to speak, it's like you have to remove a whole bunch of things in order to balance back out. So it's like there's this chaos before everything settles down, right? But this was something else entirely, because something had shifted, and I was getting all these really bad, horrible telepathic messages and energies from outside myself that felt like it was coming from some particular people that I'm close to. And then I happen to have like, and you got, this is all back in my original, like, after the December 12/12 retreat that I did. I'm pretty sure I went over all this stuff, basically. Like, my kids had these really bad nightmares. There was these skinwalkers, one of them took the shape of Cookie Monster, which just happened to be a picture that one of my friends had sent me the day before. She had sent me this picture of a Cookie Monster towel. And then I had a clearing done from a friend, and they said, oh, it looked like this, these two people, and they were like just like dark entities, versions of them or something like that. She had to clear them out. I had this vision of me during that retreat of seeing a white deer in a forest, and it turning into a man and being crucified on a tree, and then feeling like my heart was returned to me. And it was a very confusing time. I'll be real with you. Felt like something went wrong, something happened. It felt like, and granted, I'm really just going to be describing my experience of what things have been like for me. I'm not saying I know for sure one way or another. I'm just going to tell you guys, like, this is how I live my life, and this is how I look at signs and synchronicities and things like that. And so this felt like a full-blown attack against me of some sort to change something in my timeline. It felt like it was meant to change and alter the origin of my heart activation, basically, is what it felt like. Something got messed with in regards to that. But like I said, it wasn't just me that was impacted. It was the girls that worked with me. It seemed like there were lots of other people around me in my life. It just like, especially the girls that worked with me during this, it's like they just have had nothing but horrible luck and bad things happen to them. Like, to the point where one of them, their tire blew out on the freeway, and she like could have died and stuff like that. And like we were just like searching for answers, right? So I'm like, I woke up so depressed yesterday. I woke up so depressed and just crying my eyes out. And I don't know. It's like I've been going on this roller coaster where it's like I'm able to latch back on to love and my connection to God for on and off. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was going in that, and then it was like because I'll be real with you guys. I've been asking for them to help me remove any energetic anchors that are holding me back from manifesting my highest timeline of love and joy, soul's growth and expansion. And so I could feel it, especially considering it was Mercury retrograde, where it's like it's time for stuff like this to come up and be reflected on. So like it felt like years and years and years of grief was being purged from my body. And for the first time, and I realized this, and this was so sad for me, but ever since that I was evicted from the house, my dream home that I manifested with that trucker guy I was living with, ever since I've been evicted from there, it's like I was put into this fear. Ever since being in that relationship, I was put into this fear state where I wasn't able really to cry anymore. And I was actually really upset about that, because I know like crying is not always, it feels good. It purges emotions, like things that need to be moved out. And as you know, I know what it's like to suppress those things and what it leads to, because I've had that happen to me before, which was the whole reason for my heart activation ceremony, and the fact that I was given the heart of the blue fairy and everything, because I had my heart killed. When my soul braid walk-in came, and this is what they told me: your heart had died, and Anubis had your heart, right? So to get back to the point, if I can get back on track here, I totally lost exactly where I was at. But I woke up, and I've been purging all this grief. And not only have I been purging all this grief, but the lungs hold grief. And I actually had this super bad flare up, I'm guessing is what it was, to the point where I was in so much pain. I thought it was an infection. I mean, it literally drove me to like fear for my life, to the point where, guys, I have officially quit smoking. I just want to tell you that I have officially quit smoking. Whatever was going on with my shoulder, my neck, and my lung area scared me so bad that I was like, I want to live. I even had my daughter's father and my daughter basically, like, they had a talk with me, and they were like, you have to quit smoking because we want you to be around for a long time, And I'm like, you know what? And I want to too. And I hadn't been able to find that strength in me. Not that I'm doing it completely nicotine free. I'm not. I'm wearing a nicotine patch. I have these little nicotine pouches that I can put in my mouth that help. And I have this little just air tube thing, and I have to say it. So I've had like one cigarette in the past. I've had one cigarette like pretty much once a day, except for one day I didn't do it for the past 5 days. But I'm determined. I'm ready, because I'm remembering the girl that I was when all of this started. 5 years ago. I'm remembering who that was and the parts of myself, the version of myself that I want to be that is similar to that girl. And so I'm going to hold on to this and I'm going to keep going forward with it. But also, so here we go. So it's interesting, right? Like it took steroids. I went to the doctors and they were like, I was like, I'm assuming I'm going to need antibiotics, which I just did this whole candida cleanse. And I'm like, I didn't want to destroy my gut biome yet again, because I've literally been on antibiotics. It feels like every 3 months for the past, I don't know, 3 years or so, because of the tooth infections and the lung infections. And it was like, I'm working so hard. I'm gaining weight. Like I got to my goal weight, which was 118. I was 104. Now I'm 118. So, I mean, I've really been making these strides. And to have this happen was like such a wake up call, and my mom, like, arthritis does run in the family. So it definitely could have been something like that. But anyway, steroids worked. It took care of it. So I was kind of surprised to wake up yesterday and to be super sad again, because I had thought that I'd grabbed back onto that hope, but I guess there was more grief that needed to be purged. So if you are one of those people that are in this type of feeling with me, my prayers go out to you, because this is the real work. This is the real work. Removing the energetic anchors, which is a lot of times the emotions that we hold on to and we suppress and keep trapped in the body, is hard to do when we are not taught or allowed or have time or feel safe to release these things, right? And I'm determined. I'm fucking determined, guys. I refuse to give up on climbing higher and having a better life for me and my children. And I've seen it start to affect my children, the manifestations and how I'm changing. Like, even like I honestly, I started doing prayers during my morning prayer meditation thing, I guess you could say, where I take these supplements and I pray over my water. And so I started praying that my sons would also start to find meaning and purpose in their own lives. All my children, my daughter too, like, she's included, but specifically I'm like thinking about my older sons and everything like that. And suddenly I started doing these prayers, and I noticed they actually on their own initiative started taking actions to make their lives better, to be healthier. It was very interesting. So I'm just, paying attention to that. I'm sensing that the more energetic anchors I'm letting go of, the more I am releasing things that no longer serve me, the more powerful I'm getting in my abilities, in my psychic abilities, the more I'm being able to understand how things really work, especially when it comes to telepathy and things of that nature. Which really, honestly, back in November, when all of that shifting started happening, all that weird stuff was happening, the thing that it taught me, honestly, that shifting, was because I had that stable baseline for so long, but I was like always unsure. I'm like, am I talking to these people? Am I not talking? Who am I talking to? I'm not really sure. And it was like, when this shift happened, it proved to me that it had been real all along. That I had doubted myself. For all these years, I doubted myself. And now all of these synchronicities, all of the information that I had been waiting for started to line up. And it was like just boom, 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 one thing after another. Like, oh my God, it was real. It was all real. And at first I was just kind of like, can I just be happy? Like, can I just be happy? Like, yay, it was all real. And I wasn't crazy, and this is so incredible, But then I stop and I realize, wait a second. If it was all real, then there's some things that were not good, that were sad, that are upsetting, that probably were true too, and I might talk about that in a little bit, because like I said, I am just literally going to share with you guys what life looks like for me, so that way hopefully you can find some benefit in it and use it in practical applications in your own life. Okay. So I decided, after waking up in my depressed, crying, sad state yesterday, that I was going to do something about it. And I was going to do a new moon ritual, basically. And I wasn't asking anyone else to join in with me. And I knew that I've been doing full moon rituals because I've been trying to draw stuff to me, right? But the new moon is for releasing things. And so I started to get the things together. I had the day off. I normally would just relax at home. I went out And I bought these candles, these Reiki charged candles, like I always do, because I've noticed since doing the first one in November, every time we do them, the candles are powerful. Candles are powerful energetic tools for magic, let me tell you. Songs are magic, words are magic, intentions are magic, crystals. Okay, all crystals are herbs. These are all tools that will increase whatever is already inside you. It's like a tool can only work as well as the person who's wielding it, right? Like so. So I went out there and I'm like, you know what? Something happened in November. Something happened in November and December, and that needs to be fixed at this point, because I can't take this anymore. And I bought a white and a black candle, which was for, and I'm telling you guys this because in case you want to know what something like this looks like, and you can go out there and you can buy these items and you can practice this for yourself and see, you can put it to the test. Like, don't just take my word for it. Like, put this stuff to the test. If you want to see it do magic in your own life, it will. If you belief is what you need. Okay? Like, that's how you become a master tool wielder, is when you sharpen the blade of your own belief, so to speak. So I got this black candle and this white candle to rebalance. Basically, one was for protection and one was for cleansing. The black candle I got because basically I wanted to send back and return to sender any negative, cursed, or hexed energy that had been sent towards me or anyone connected to me that I love and care about. And obviously the cleansing one was to cleanse whatever had happened. And then I was guided by spirit to also buy a love and a small one, a love and a manifest a miracle candles, because that's what this originally started with. Those were the two candles that I originally bought and used back in November when all of this kicked off, so to speak. And so spirit was basically telling me that these candles were going to open a portal to these times. And I just felt this need to get certain power objects, okay, that have certain frequencies that I've used in other creation spreads over the years that I've had a lot of luck with. And so I set up this whole creation spread, or manifestation spread, whatever you want to call it, the new moon ritual spread. And as I was doing it, I remembered I just recently reposted this creation spread that I had made for the first Journey to Truth conference. And there was a picture in it. And it was a picture that I had actually manifested through a miracle, another miracle, because I've seen so many miracles at this point in my life. That's why I know that God is real and that this stuff works. And it was a picture I wanted a picture of my mom and dad kissing. I wanted it like to be like true love's kiss, and hold the essence of it. And I knew, I was like, I prayed to my dad about it, who passed away when I was a little girl, right? And at least the one on my birth certificate, okay? The one who actually cared about me, not my biological father. And I know it gets confusing. I have a confusing backstory, but basically, okay, so I'd asked my dad, like at the time, and within a week, I would say it was about my mom. I was at my mom's house visiting her, and she goes, "Oh, I found this picture in this old book in the back of my closet. And I don't know, I just thought maybe you might want to have it." And it was this picture of my mom and dad, and it was like a piece of art. It was like that one blanket kiss picture where it's like, they're on the blanket and he's like kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. I hope you guys know which one I'm talking about. But anyway, that's besides the point. So through a miracle, I managed to get this picture. And so this picture is a power object of mine that represents true love's kiss. And so I I didn't have this. Okay, here's the thing. I wanted to use this picture. I remembered it. I saw it in the video, but I did not have this picture. And in my house, I don't even remember the last time I've used it, because it's been so long since I've actually made a manifestation spread using these items, And so I was really kind of bummed. My stomach kind of dropped as I realized, like, in my house, like, it's not organized and I have no idea what this picture is at. And I just like resigned to myself. Well, I guess, if they really want me to use it in there, and then they, I guess I can't now at this point. And I was a little nervous about even doing this this new moon ritual. I was, because of what had happened with the other ones, and I'd seen how powerful they were, and I didn't want to mess anything up, right? So I went to go sit back. I set everything up, and I sat back down on my bed, and I went to go get out a notebook to do my manifestation pages, which, it's just where I write down what it is that I'm trying to accomplish for myself on one side, and then what I want to accomplish for the world on the back side, because I feel like that's kind of like a balance, like you're kind of asking and offering. And then I'll roll up the page and I'll burn it, and then I'll look to see whatever crisp of paper are left, if there's any words on it, to see if there's any message spirit wants me to take away from what I just burned through the manifestation page. But anyway, I sit down and I'm looking for a notebook, and there happens to be one underneath a few of these journals I have next to my bed. So I took it out, and I realized, as I was looking for a clean page, because my daughter had drawn over most of them, looking for a clean page, and at the back of them, there's this pocket folder, and it had a bunch of pictures in it. And wouldn't you know it, the picture that I was wanting, that my stomach dropped, it was in there. I'm telling you, it wasn't even 5 minutes later of me wanting this picture that it showed up in my life again. So I took that as a sign. I took that as a good sign. And I think that most people would. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they want me to go through with this. This is going to be a good thing. I'm like asking to rebalance, whatever went wrong, and to help my friends out, and to clear any negative energies and all that good stuff. And so I go downstairs and I burn the manifestation page. Okay. Cause that's how I do it. Right. I set it all up. I set my intentions. I write my manifestation page. Okay. I put a bunch of crystals. This time I bought herbs, and I can even show you guys the herbs. If anyone wants me to tell them what the herbs were, I will absolutely tell you. Just say in the chat, and hopefully yeah, okay. I'm like just kind of glancing. All right. Hi there, Kay. Hey there, Helios. Nice to see you. Okay. So anyway, anyone that wants to know what those are, I will tell you. So to continue on. So I set up the spread. I get out the crystals that I feel like are most important. I get out the objects, because I had more than just crystals. I had the herbs, the candles, I had the pictures. Okay. I had like little creatures, like statues or plastic objects. I had like a little spider guy I had found with a red jewel, and I had this white hermit crab that isn't like, it was made out of glass, and it's in this beautiful abalone like shell, like pure white shell. And I put that on the white candle edge, the candle holder, and I put the black spider in the black candle's edge, and I light the candles, and I put out the intentions, and I listen to the song. I listened to the song that I've been hearing now for days, and I'll tell you about that in a second, which songs that was and how that all played out. But this is how I used to do it, right? So I start doing it, and I dance a little bit, and then I take my manifestation pages that I wrote, and I roll them up, and I go downstairs and I burn them. And when I burn them, the little scraps that were left behind said this. The first one that I came across said, amazing. The second one that came across said, clear too, though. Amazing. Clear too, though. And then the last part of the message said, truly is a beautiful creature. Truly is a beautiful creature. So I took this again as another good sign that I was doing the right thing, and that whatever happened was going to get cleaned up, okay, and return to sender, so to speak. So you think that's it? You think like that's just as weird as it gets, right? Well, no, there's so much more that's about to happen going forward here from this, and it's going to get wild. So hang tight with me, okay? Put your seatbelt on. Here we go. So the first thing that happens, okay, after this is that one of the girlfriends that I included, okay, in my manifestation page and in the ritual was basically me asking her for God to open up money for her again and clients, okay? And literally within a couple hours of me starting this, I don't know how, like it couldn't have been more than 2 hours, I think. I'd have to check with her, but She literally got a client, and she hadn't had a client in months. She got a client. And that client needed her to do a session for her that day, that night. Okay, before she could even get her stuff set up to do her own little ritual that she was going to do. So I'm like, wow, it's working already. You know what I'm saying? And one of the herbs that I put down was to attract money, right? And so I also found it very funny. My son, out of nowhere, found a penny on the floor and he put it next to one of the candles. Like, just set it on my spread, not thinking, just doing it. And he set it on the spread. So I was like, wow, look at that. It's already attracting money. But it gets crazier. So, I pay attention to the candles as they burn because I feel like they show me signs about what is going on. Okay. With, like at one point one of them that we did, it showed like three little people standing up together. In November, it was like three little beings were there, and I took that to be me and my girlfriends and stuff, and doing the ritual. Another time, it looked like there was a person standing on a stage with like like the stage behind them and everything like that. Another one time, it looked like, oh yeah, with the three beings, like there was a big huge wave that was being pushed forward. So I knew that energetically we had pushed forward a lot of energy. Well, in this particular case, this time the black candle showed up, and looked like there were two little beings. And now here's the other thing I asked for. I asked for it to be revealed where this negative energy was coming from, right? Like, where did this energy get sent to us from, so that it can be returned. So it looked like there were these two little beings, okay, just looking at the candle. Now I know, again, candles are portals. These candles were connected. They can be connected to other points in time. I know it. Something inside me it's like I feel it with all my being that this is what was going on. So these two little beings show up in the candles, the black candle, and the next day I tell my girlfriend about it, and she says, this is crazy. She said, because I had a really bad nightmare, and I asked her for permission to share this. So I'm just going to read it because it's very simple to understand. So it'll be easier for me to not get any of it wrong or miss any of the important parts of it. So let's go ahead and go back real quick. Okay. Sorry, I have to scroll back a little bit because there's been some talking going on. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. It's coming. All right, here it is. So this is the girlfriend who got the client the night beforehand, and who I was trying to help because she was connected to me in the rituals that I had been doing. We had been doing together for a couple months in a row. And remember, we're talking in reference, keep in mind that there's these two little beings that showed up. And keep in mind, too, that when my daughter had that dream back in early December, late November, or whatever, she had two skinwalkers that were outside, and one of them took the shape and was wearing a Cookie Monster outfit, right? And that was the picture related to the person who had sent me a picture of Cookie Monster. So my friend, the girlfriend, she had a dream. She said, we were here in bed like we were before we fell asleep, and there was someone outside, and I told Clint, which was her boyfriend, to go and look. I was scared, and so I ended up having to run out. Hold on. So he ended up having to run out, and he was fighting with someone. I was still in the room there, felt like there was a commotion, and I get up and I go outside, and I'm really scared, and so nowhere to be found, and he's nowhere to be found now. And I see these two beings. They're at the end of the street, and I'm facing them, and I'm so terrified, but I'm like, no, I need to face these things. And they're floating in the air, all black and dark and gray, and they're more like limbs and heads, but draped in clothes, so you can't really make them out. Anyways, one is a skeleton, and the other one kind of looked like a witch. And they charge towards me, and I just stand there, and they don't do anything, and they can't really. So I ended up just flying. They ended up just flying away. So I think this is very interesting that that I set out this intention to send back these negative energies from wherever they came from, because I felt like they've been basically, it's almost like they put a block or something. I'm not really sure. Like it's still somewhat unclear. All I have to go by is my own psychic intuitions and the other synchronicities and stuff that I've come across. But I think it is not a coincidence that my girlfriend had this dream after I see these two little beings in the black candle. And to top it off, like this is the reason why this all started, because I've just been in this wreck of a roller coaster ride ever since then. And I do believe it was because of a miscommunication. I'll just be flat out with you. I do believe my intentions were misconstrued, and I think it's possible that again, I don't really know this for sure. All I know is my intuition, and it's like maybe possibly people thought I was attacking them, or in changing something, like trying to push my way into a timeline that maybe they didn't want, or what, or something. They just didn't like it. They didn't like what I was doing. They didn't like that. It could be like it's just random people even watching. I don't really know for sure, right? I don't really know for sure. Okay. But my intuition was basically saying, like, if someone thinks that you're attacking them, and you think, oh, I'm being attacked, something's coming at me, and you decide to do defensive magic on some level, like it felt like it was defensive magic, but because there was no attack, it wasn't really defensive magic, it was offensive magic. So it came at us and it was sticking with us. It seemed like, it seemed like to shake it, but my girlfriends, I'm sitting there watching them suffer one thing after another, and I'm just like, I felt responsible for this. You know what I'm saying? I really did. And so another reason why I kind of feel like it was some type of defensive magic, possibly even with a mirror or something, is because around that same time period, here's another weird occurrence for me that I pay attention to as like a shaman, I guess you could say. Like this is like a shamanic journey, pilgrimage to self-actualization. And so during this time period, I didn't tell anyone this, but I always wear this Hello Kitty hat. And while I was out door dashing, I come across what I call DoorDash treasures, right? And I found this handheld mirror, and it had a Hello Kitty, like soft, it like literally was like it wrapped around it like a hat, this mirror, and the mirror was shattered. And I thought to myself, what the heck? And something inside me instinctually said, this mirror like took the hit for you, basically. And it reminded me of, and it connected back to my son David's dream at the time, where basically he went outside and the siren started blaring, leave now, like leave now. And he came inside, and there was like, I was like basically like in my tower. So it was like a tower moment, so to speak. And there was like a storm going on, and a glass object came flying out of our kitchen cabinet, and it almost hit him. It almost crashed him right on the head, and I caught it. I caught it in midair. So I'm like, holy shit! Like at the time, when I find, because things are very, you don't just come across things for no reason when they stand out like this. And so I thought, it just literally felt like someone tried to kill a version of me, is what it was. It felt like someone wanted to take back something that had happened in the past. Like this was just my gut instinct, and it was devastating, and I did share with you guys, like what it did was it brought me back to my original wounding that happened prenatally with my mom and my biological father, who tried to kill me, right? Wanted my mom to lose me, punched her in the stomach. And as an infant inside the womb, you are your mother. And so that's where the programming starts. Pregnancy is so important to take care of the mother, for the mother to have a calm, peaceful life, because it literally does start to program the child. They start to feel their own worth. They don't have an identity yet. Their identity is their mother's identity. So it's like I had absorbed this energy of my mom's and I did not even realize it. And at this point, I'm like, shit, like now that I feel this way, and it wouldn't have been so standoutish if it weren't for the fact that when I saw the people that were associated with all of this, the day after the stream, my 12/12 retreat visions and telling everyone all this about my daughter and my son and the dreams and all that, they the looks the look when I saw them, like it was very strange. I'd never seen them look like this before. They looked literally wrecked. Like it felt like they had been crying a lot. I remember like even one of the voice didn't even sound the same. And it was for the first time that ever this person wrote me and they were like, hey, I just want to say thank you for being another me. And I asked what was wrong because they sounded so different. And they told me that they felt fractured. And I just thought, what an interesting word to choose, considering that's exactly what I was thinking of when I saw this Hello Kitty mirror. Now, again, I don't have any evidence of that. All I have is my intuition and my feelings and knowing that I've had so many confirmations along the way about so many other things. So it's kind of like, okay, well, what the hell happened here, guys? Like, it just felt like they felt really bad. And I'm like, but why? It's like they started saying really interesting things to me, like asking about my kids, or were they still having any negative effects left over from whatever had come at me, because like I said, I thought, I'm like, was I just being messed with by some entities? Right? Was I being messed with by some entities, or was this some shadow aspects? Like, because like I said, I had a stable baseline telepathically, emotionally, that it had pretty much been set up, that I confirmed so many times, that when the shift happened and I was just feeling like I was being viciously attacked and like talked bad about, like I want to believe that it's some outside entity, to tell you the truth. Like I just, because here's the thing, thoughts are things, words are powerful. I remember this woman I watched a long time ago on Oprah. She was a neuroscientist, and she talked about how she had had this really bad stroke, and she lost all ability to be able to communicate, but she was able to be conscious while she was healing. And it taught her so much about the healing process for the patients that she actually would work on neurologically, right? And she said that was when it opened up her eyes to spirituality and energy and how energy really works. And she basically said she had to tell them to make a sign to put on the door that said, please be responsible with the energy that you bring, because she was affected by the energies that people were bringing in, just whatever state they were in. Because you're not supposed just to let the mind run wild. Like as children, okay, expect it. But as you age and you get older and you realize, the more you come into the realization that you are a conscious creator being, the more responsibility you have in making sure that you control your thoughts, because you need to think about, well, is this what I would want for myself, for someone else to do or think and say to me? Is this what I would want? And when I'll stress this again, because I've said this so many times at this point, like when I started to pick up on the fact and realize that people that I didn't know, was it people picking up on my thoughts, or was I just picking up on people's thoughts? And considering I had asked and pleaded with God and surrendered all of myself to God and said, God, I only want your thoughts and feelings about people. And when I started to pick up on this, I made a conscious choice I'm going to think the best thoughts that I can about people. Then I'm going to inspire love in my heart, and I'm going to think the best thoughts that I can, because I would want that for me too, and it just felt like a good, right thing to do, especially if we are on our way moving towards being a collective conscious on another level to where nothing can be hidden. Right. So I thought, well, then I better make sure that I will not be ashamed or embarrassed or, whatever it is, that if someone were to look inside me and see what's in there, that there's be nothing for me to feel guilty or be ashamed of. Like, I'm going to clean up. It's like a garden. You know what I'm saying? You have to pluck the weeds. Okay. So let's see. Let's get back on track. So yeah, so we're responsible for the energy that we bring. Okay. And so back to the new moon ritual. Because more happened. Like I said, not only did we see the two little beings in the black candle, my girlfriend has this dream about these beings, like trying to come after. It almost reminded me of wraiths, which I think is very interesting considering one of my recent streams about Madoka Magica, because I really do feel like that's come into play and been a very important part in just the understanding of what's been going on with me for these past couple months as a magical girl, I guess you could say, So, and I'm really praying that I say what needs to be said, and I say it in a way that is communicated clearly, and that I'm able to stay on track, so to speak. Only say what needs to be said here, right? So earlier today, I leave my candles burning because I let them burn until they go out. All these weird things that already happened in regards to this new moon ritual. And I go to pick up my sons. I leave, the candles are fucking fine, right? They're fine. I had kind of moved my little hermit crab guy like a little bit over so that he wouldn't fall down. And next thing I know it, I'm out there and waiting for my sons to get out of school, and my son David calls me frantic. And he was so frantic he could barely get the words out at first. And I was like, what is going on? Like, what happened? And he's like, I was downstairs in his room sleeping, and he heard my smoke detector go off in my room. And he said he came up here, and the white candle for cleansing was ablaze. He said he didn't know what was going on, but it was a big flame. It was smoking. And so he tried to blow it out, he said, and it wouldn't blow out. So the next thing he tried to do was he put water on it, and it got bigger. The flame got bigger when he put water on it. So now he's like really like, oh my God, what do I do? So he said he ran downstairs and he got a jar, and he put the jar over top of the candle until the smoke and the fire went out. And I'm just like, holy shit, like, what is going on here with this? There's like so many weird things that are just happening, like one after the other when it comes to this new moon ritual. Honestly, but it felt like a good thing. And in fact, it even felt like they brought up to my mind Pirates of the Caribbean and Calypso's release, which I've compared, I've used the scene of Calypso being released in comparison to my heart activation sacred marriage ceremony that I went through 5 years ago. Okay. And I do think it's kind of funny that happened, considering it sounded like, okay, like, because when the 8 pieces of 9 or the 9 pieces of 8 get burnt, okay, and they have to light the 9 pieces that originally bound Calypso in her human form. And then the code phrase has to be said to her in the right way. It has to be said to her. And then she is released, and she turns back into a giant, and they ask for her favor, and she turns into a bunch of crabs, right? Like hundreds of thousands of crabs, and goes into the sea. And they think all is lost, but it's not, because she actually is helping them. She's just going to make sure that Davy Jones, which was the guy who taught them how to trap her into a human body, she's going to make sure he gets taken care of. But I thought it was very funny that this comes up, and I'm going to get into that again in a second on the specific part. But thought this was very interesting because I just so happened to buy this yesterday when I bought the candle. I bought a little Cthulhu puppet. It's like magnet, but this is basically like Davy Jones. So I thought that was kind of funny that this happened. And sorry, I almost got a phone call there, and it kind of threw me off for a second. So yeah, so my son puts this flame out, and my little hermit crab guy which again, remember, Calypso turns into thousands of crabs. It's almost like he sacrificed himself. Like he was like the sacrifice. He was like one of the 9 pieces of 8, right? And like it completely burnt the shell. Like the glue came out, like the little body of the hermit crab came out. Like now I'm gonna have to like re-glue them and put them in there. But either way, this was like within the 20 minutes of me going to get my sons. This happens. Well, what happened in those 20 minutes? Well, let me tell you what happened. I was rewatching the ending of The Fifth Element, because that's what I feel like got tampered with back in November, December, whatever. Okay, it felt like that had gotten tampered with somehow. And so I was asking God, like, please, like, I didn't even know how much it meant to me. Like, I didn't even know. Like, I thought I knew. I knew it, like, it was so exciting. It was like the best thing that ever happened. And I was so grateful for it. So I was and they told me right off the bat, like, this was like the ending of The Fifth Element, which I always kind of felt like, okay, yes, it did feel that way. Yes. I'm like, but she was in such a place of despair, when that happened to her. Like, if you remember the ending scene, it's like, you stop and you think for a second, and they get all of the elements lined up, and then it's time for Lilu to do her job, and Corbin Dallas takes her over to the center of the circle, and he's like, okay, come on now, it's time to do your thing. She's like, protect life until death. And he's like, yes, like, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, the world's going to die. And she's like, why protect life when I see what you do with it? And that's kind of, honestly, this is the year that I felt that way. Like, because this year is the year where it's like the entire landscape of my life, as far as the community goes, has been completely changed. It's unrecognizable to me. The fractures in the community, and now the people that mean the most to me, I'm like, it sounds like I might never see them again physically if there's no more conferences, if we're not going to meet up outside of that or anything. Like, it's like, oh my God, like, is this why it felt that way? Because, honestly, if I felt that way after I left, when that event happened, I felt that way because of the dreams that came true. The biggest dream that came true, that was my first days long dream that came true. At the end of it, I washed up on the shore of a beach, and there was a big wall in front of me, and everyone was spread out, like, just so far apart, like far, but like I could see them from both sides, and everyone had a ladder, and I needed a ladder to climb this wall, and I was so sad. Trying not to cry, okay? Like, I was so sad in this dream, at the end of this dream. And so I knew when all that happened that I was going to be going home and being sad. And I'll tell you why. Because, like I said, I know my life experience happened for me the way it happened for me. I knew no one else could relate to it like I could at the time. Didn't change it. Didn't change what it meant to me. It didn't change the fact that my heart literally came on, right? Like, that I didn't know love. Because if you get back to that scene in connection to what just happened with the candle going ablaze, as I was watching the scene, and she's like, protect life until death. Like, why would I protect it when I see what you do with it? It kind of felt like my love. You know what I'm saying? This moment for me, what this meant for me. Was that really seen for what it was? And so, Corbin in the movie, he basically says, no, there's beautiful things, Lilu. There's beautiful things worth saving. And she's like love. He's like, yes, like love. Love is a very beautiful thing. That is worth saving. She says, I don't know love. I don't know love. And she's like, why? Why do you need me to do this? And he's like, because we need you. We do need you. And she's like, why? Why do you need me? And that's when all the people around them, right? And they're like, tell her, Corbin, tell her, you know? And he says, I love you because I love you. And that is what activates her heart. You know, she needed to feel that love. She needed to feel like there was more than just protecting life, especially when there's war going on everywhere, you know? And so I just found it so interesting that now I'm in this place of despair. Now I'm feeling like, oh my God, I'm really truly never going to see them again, possibly. And and I'm struggling to hold on to the joy that I felt with it because it felt so distant somehow, you know, and sorry. And I realized why it was the ending of the Fifth Element then. I realized why, because that was what gave me joy. It's what proved to me that God exists. You know, it was like if all these miracles and all these things could happen, like, wow. And I didn't, again, like, I didn't know all the details as to why. And so, like, when the actual date came up, you know, I stopped and I really, like, relived the day in my mind. I remembered all the details. I remembered exactly how it went down. And I shared some of it with some of my girlfriends. I'm just like, you know, I mean, just imagine that you look up to someone and you just think they're just like the coolest person ever. And all you want to know is that reincarnation is real and soul groups are real. And to have just one person be able to say, hey, you know what? We've lived many lifetimes together. We've lived hundreds of lifetimes together. And for it to be true, I wanted to feel that. That is what I needed to feel, to go on, to have some type of something to work towards, you know? And it happened to me. And I find that interesting that the Calypso thing came up again. Because like I said, you know, Calypso has a code phrase that must be said. And it has to be said in a certain way. It has to be as if spoken to a lover. And it's basically, he has to whisper to her, Calypso, I release you from your human form, your human bonds. And that's what does it. And the first person who says it doesn't say it right, right? And so it doesn't work because it has to be said with a certain frequency. There has to be truth behind it. And so when this happened for me, when that's all I asked for, right? That was all I asked for when I went to this event. I just want to know what that feels like. One person to say that, and I actually feel it, and I know it's true. And then it happened. And they leaned, you know, like the music was loud, I remember. And I just, again, this is like the coolest person ever. And I still think they are. You know, that's the funny thing. I still think they're the fucking coolest person ever. And so they lean over and they get real close to me because they have to, because it's so loud. And they say, you know, yeah, we've been doing this for hundreds of lifetimes. I literally did a double take. Like, what did you just say? Like, this is what they told me they were going to say. This is what all these dreams coming true. And now you're saying this, and the other dreams that I had, and they said it was this and that. And I'm like literally, do you understand? I was mind blown. Like, I was literally, my legs shook from underneath me. It was like someone took a giant, like I was a gong. And so I said, what did you say? And then they said it again. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like, I can't believe it. I was so happy. I remember I went to one of my girlfriends afterward and I was like, you're not going to believe what this guy just said to me, you know, like, and she's like, what? You know, she don't care. She's like recording live at the time and everything. And I didn't even realize she was recording live at the time. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, later, I was like, you have to delete that. I was like, you have to. She's like, no, it's okay. No one heard or anything like that. I'm like, I don't know about that, but whatever. I couldn't care. I really couldn't care. I'm just like, you know, no one could get it though. No one could understand because no one had been living all of these things and all these experiences that led me up to this point, you know, and it was just the most miraculous thing. And afterwards, you know, people were like, I'd be around them, and I was talking to them about it a little bit, trying to explain a little bit without embarrassing myself or whatever. And I remember this girl next to me, as I was talking about it, she said, oh, I feel someone's Reiki energy on. And I could feel it too. I could feel the energy coming out of my hands. And I knew I had truly been activated, you know? And so there were certain themes from certain stories that I've told you guys along the way about my life, where I believe this is what they were telling me. You know what I'm saying? That I truly had been genetically activated into my full goddess powers, because what happened with Calypso? The words were said to her and she regained her goddess abilities. Okay. Well, if you also look at the story Love Between Fairy and Devil, which was one of my favorite shows and things to talk about, this is what also happens to her. Okay. Like after she goes through this traumatic incident with the devil, basically, and she has to, she basically sacrifices herself to save the world. Like she protects him. She gets in between, in the way of him and the battle that he's in, because at that time he had to try to convince her that he didn't love her, because there was this curse that had been put on her that was literally killing her if she kept on loving him. And so but she could not stop, and so she ended up going out there and she ended up dying, even though and he was so sad about that afterward, right? And so she turned into her primordial spirit again, and he had to nurture that primordial spirit for hundreds of years till she could come back to life. And when she did, it was revealed to her that she wasn't actually just a regular fairy. She wasn't just a regular orchid. No, she was a goddess, and every goddess has a matching god pair. And so it turned out that this guy that she had this crush on for all this time was her god match. And so she had to get married to him in order to activate her full goddess powers so she could help in the mission to save the world that all of these gods and goddesses were gathering to do. Okay. So these are just the things that I'm lining up, and I'm looking back at this story, right? And I'm putting these pieces together, like why it was so important to me, why it meant so much to me, and how, like, wow, it's almost like the feelings I'm having now, as I'm looking back on it, I'm able to send those feelings to myself. I was able to set, like, almost like I was helping to tell myself. I have no doubt that I already know. I've told you guys, like, when I do my parts work, that I learned that I believe people can time travel, and that they can send themselves, they can remote influence themselves from the future into the past by giving themselves messages. Okay. So I knew that I've sent messages back to myself. I knew I have sent message. I've tapped into myself in the future and I've gotten those messages. And then on top of it, I have this guide here that was with me now, that was talking to me all the time, and all the things that they were telling me was coming true. And I'm just like, how is this even possible? And I think, and then again, I got confused. I'm like, okay, well, who am I even really talking to all the time? Because I don't really ask. It's like when I'm just communicating with myself, with God, with my guides, it's like I don't stop and be like, okay, well, who's talking to me right now? Like, who is it this time? And so I got confused for a moment and started to realize, okay, no, I wasn't just talking to this person from the future, because that was my intentions. The first time I heard that they talked shit about me, right? First time I heard that talk shit about me, I was like, oh, you're going to get it now. I was like, oh no, if I can do this type of stuff, which I feel like at the point, I was like, I feel like I really can do this. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to set out the attention. I'm going to go to the end of your life, because I didn't want to mess with any of the timeline that I'd already helped create and manifest, since that was my first biggest heart wish. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to show you. I'm going to roll out the timeline. I'm going to show you I was telling you the truth. Look at what happened, and then I'm going to ask for your help. You're going to come help me. You're going to guide me out of here. And so I realize now, through all the synchronicities that have happened over these past couple months, all the new information that has been divulged to me through listening to the book, right? Listening to this book. And it's just like, wow, look at, there it is. There it is. There, oh my God, there's that story I was telling. There's that story I was telling in that lifetime. There was that story I was telling. And I'm just like, holy shit. It really was all real. And they're like, aren't you happy with this? Like, I thought this is what you wanted, right? But I was feeling so devastated at the time still, because I'm like on this roller coaster ride of feeling like it was like maybe taken for granted or something. And because that's what it felt like. And like I said, all I had to go by is just my feelings and my experience. I wasn't about to go to people and be like, hey, tell me, there's all this stuff. I wasn't going to do that, because that was the point. You understand? Like, That was why that moment, that sacred marriage ceremony, that reunion with my genetic equal twin flame, that was another reason why it was so important that it happened exactly the way it did, and that it wasn't easy for me to go to them and be like, and to share all these things with them, because it forced me to figure out what I was truly capable of. If I hadn't had that as a challenge, so to speak, I never would have worked so hard to figure out what is real and what is not. I would never would have worked so hard to be able to figure out and fine tune myself to what is the frequency of truth, and what is not, and what is just my own mind and its imaginings, and what is not, and what is someone else's feelings, and what is my feelings, like what are all these things. And so I took my time. I took my time to really, figure things out. And it was a beautiful experience. It was perfect. The divine timing of it all, the divine orchestration of it all, like, I'm still mind blown. Like, but even then, I still was falling into despair recently. It felt like I didn't know how to get out of it. It was this roller coaster wave I've been riding. And on that note, I just want to say, like, I got this little scroll from this place called Earthlore that I bought ritual candles for and stuff like that. And I just thought this was an interesting quote. And it says, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. And I thought, wow, how true that is. And this is why I'm not, and here's the thing, I'm as much as my heart's intentions has been to set out to never think anything bad about people, and to talk well and all that type of stuff. Like, I haven't always been true to that. I haven't always held true to that. And you guys know that, because I've literally been out here and I've talked shit about people that have hurt me and I felt have wronged me. And not in such great ways. And like, even with the ex, the trucker guy, I thought a lot of bad things about him. And I felt guilty about it. And I think I punished myself for it. I think a lot of us punish ourselves for that type of thing. And so again, I'm just asking everyone to really stop and think about this stuff, because according to this NDE experience from this woman I heard, God told her that our thoughts are things, and that our thoughts actually go to the other person and hang out in their field and can be slowly absorbed into them and influence them to be the very thing that you're thinking of them. So I started to realize as I was going up and down these roller coasters, like, and feeling connected to the collective too, the war going on. I felt like literally connected to, like, the sadness and the upsetness of people about the war and everything. I could feel the sadness and the emotions of my girlfriends that were thinking about me and connected to me. I could just tell that this is where it was coming from. And this is the best way I can explain it, guys. It was almost like this. So it's like we're all senders and receivers of energies. Every thought form that you have has a frequency to it, and it goes out whether you want it to or not. We are always putting these frequencies out, even as we sleep. Okay. And so when you start to activate psychically and you become more psychically aware, you start to realize that the thoughts that go out, okay, what I think is happening, like, let's say a thought comes, like, let's say one of my girlfriends, she is feeling a certain way and she's thinking about me in relation to this feeling. And so now that thought frequency comes and it pings my field. Okay. And now suddenly I'm feeling that way, but I'm feeling that way, the similar emotion, but in thoughts that would make me feel that way. You know what I'm saying? So let's say it might be something totally different. Like, let's say, like, she's thinking about sad puppies and it makes her cry, but the frequency of that for me would be like sad kittens or something like that. And so therefore I'm thinking about sad kittens, but something that's making me feel a certain way, and so I think we're empathic beings like that, where we can transfer. That's how we pick up on each other empathetically. You know, and so I'm like, I just want to be disconnected from this, God. I think I even told you guys on the last stream I did. I'm like, I just want to be, I just want my own stuff right now at this point. Like, can I please just have my own stuff? And my spirit guides basically said, not if you want to be connected to humanity and the human. Like, you can't just disconnect. That basically the only way to get out of it, they said. And like, I started to realize why people become hermits, right? Sorry, I'm like wanting to look at the chat, but I want to almost finish. I'm sorry, guys. I will look at the chat in a moment. Okay. So they were like, I started to understand why some spiritual shamans and everything like that, they become hermits and they isolate themselves, because the more psychically aware you are, the more in tune you get, like the more you are a receiver and a receiver of other people's feelings. And the only way for me to truly be to get disconnected, they said, was for everyone to forget about me and me to like basically seclude myself off somewhere and to wait for people to just all forget about me. That would be the only way to truly disconnect that type of empathetic transfer, so to speak, energetic transfer. Okay. So if we I'm so sorry, it has to be because I've quit smoking, so all this stuff is coming up. But so to get back on point, I just realized now how important that was to me, that event. And I just would hope that people would see now how much time has passed and how authentic, how sincere I've tried to be. You know, like, I want to be that girl again. I want to not just be that girl again. I want to take certain parts of me that have slowly, I feel like, gotten corrupted, you know, as I've lived through this stuff. As I got activated, it's like I was a newborn baby in a way. And then slowly I started to realize, like, I was naive. I really thought that I was attracting only, like, the community, that I was only attracting people who are on the same heart level, on the same level of purity, like, wouldn't be lying or manipulative. Like, I'll be real. I was naive. Okay. I really was. I really thought that's what was going on here, you know, and I was wrong. You know, I was wrong about that stuff. But I want to take the purity and that sincerity and combine it with the woman I am now, and knowing the things I know, and still being true to myself and holding the principles that I do. And I want my heart to stay activated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that to be honored, that happened for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew when I made my first heart wish that I knew what the sacrifice I was making. You know what? They told me what it was, basically. But again, I was like naive, and I was like, this is one lifetime. You know, I didn't know that I was going to be genetically fucking activated because they were my goddamn genetic equal. I did not expect that at all, because that's apparently what happened to me. I had to be, again, a genetic equal. I asked for that. Like, years later, I was just like, okay, well, I like the sound of that term. I remember I liked the sound of that. I said it felt right. Something felt right. And so I asked for it, did a manifestation page for it. And they were like, my guides were like, you should look up what that means. You know, and I said, okay, you know, and I did. And then it was like, oh, it's the man who holds your rod and staff codes. And it just so happened that was the one and only vision that they ever kept giving me when I asked for them to tell me about who this person was to me in past lives. You know, I was like, if that's true, you know, if what they said to me is true, then prove it to me, basically. Show me, prove it to me. But I have to say, what really fucked me up along this journey, you know, was my guide telling me, what if they just thought it was a maladaptive daydream? Like, it's a trigger word for me now. I'll be real with you guys. It's a fucking trigger word for me now. When I hear that, it's like, okay, what does that mean? You know, like, because I looked it up and I thought I understood what it meant. I thought it just basically meant, like it's people making up stuff, right? Basically just people maladaptively using daydreaming to distract themselves from maybe their lives or something like that. That's what I assumed, right? But recently, I actually finally figured out what it actually meant to other people. And what that meant to other people was that you're taking someone else's story, you're taking someone else's example, and you're daydreaming about that. And so therefore you have this experience or whatever it is, and you're basically making it up, so to speak. Like, and that's what hurt so bad. You know what I'm saying? That was what hurt so bad. And I remember when all that happened, I even said, like, every time they would try to come and talk to me after that for like a couple weeks, I was just like, I would laugh and I'd be like, oh my God, is that my maladaptive daydream trying to talk to me again? And they were like, oh, like eventually they got kind of annoyed a little bit in a way. And they're like, are you ever going to let go of that? And I was like, I don't know. I'm trying. I want to, but forgiveness is not my strong suit. If anything, what I've learned over these past couple months is the biggest hurdle that I have is I don't understand what forgiveness is. I don't know how to do it well. I'm not saying I'm incapable of it or anything like that, but I'm not very forgiving. And I know that also includes with myself. I'm not very forgiving. Like I've made mistakes and it seems like I've always gotten like the consequences of those mistakes were always so devastating. I don't know if I ever like truly allowed myself to let go of those types of things, but I want to forgive and here is why. I have to learn how to forgive because I feel deep down inside that this is part of my mission, is to figure out how to forgive and to hold on to the love, to keep the purity of my heart going. Because just like in Madoka Magica, when you become a magical girl, the whole point is that you have to keep your heart pure. Because if you don't, okay, it starts to turn black, just like my heart died before, right? It starts to turn black and you fall into despair and you become a witch. And then those witches, for all the wishes that they made, for all the good that they did, they start to curse people. It's not because I'm sure that they want to, it's just they fell into despair. And I felt like that was like happening to me. I felt like Lilu at the end of the Fifth Element. Like, why am I even doing any of this? And so this is part of what I was asking for. And my new moon ritual was just like, God, like, I need help. If I start to regret these manifestations I did, and thoughts are things, and emotions with thoughts are powerful things, and they're creating things. Like, this is how they have kept us so dysfunctional for so long, because they've kept us traumatized, and so therefore we're these unconscious creator beings, and we're just creating negativity for each other because we haven't taken the time to stop and heal and clear all that out. And so I basically was just asking God, like, please help me. Please, God, like, I cannot do this alone. I really need to be able to learn how to forgive. And I know that I feel like such a baby when it comes to this. I do not know how. I was able to the first time that, something big shook me, in regards to this. It was like, yeah, you know what? I want to just forgive them completely, and I want to just go back to being happy. And this time it just wasn't as easy. And again, I have no proof other than my own experience of this is what it feels like. Okay. I'm not saying I know for sure this is what it is. This is what it felt like. This is what it felt like. It felt like I was falling into despair. So I guess, I was even starting to have heart palpitations again and everything like that. And I'm just like losing hope in the world and hope in, like, I just could feel it. I could feel myself almost turning. And I was like, I cannot let that happen. And so I just ask that you guys just say a prayer for me that I'm able to maintain this, that I'm able to keep my heart clear, and that I don't lose the main path, which is love, and to be in alignment with our highest timelines of love, joy, soul's growth, and expansion, because I truly want that for people. And I wanted it no more. There was no greater person I wanted it for than the people that I love the most. You know, there was no one that I put so much time and effort into. In fact, I called it like, I'm like, you just wait till you get over the other side and you do your life review and you see the love. It's going to blow your mind. You know, I was like stockpiling it. Like, oh, how much loving thoughts can I think? You know, because it was natural. And to go against that is to betray my heart. Just betray my own heart. And I don't want to do that anymore. I not anymore, so to speak. I don't want to do that ever. And the only time it seems like I do that is when, like, again, even though that trucker was being so mean to me and everything like that, like, the amount of energy, like, I get it now. Okay, so like he was thinking all these bad things, it was pinging off of me, and then that was causing me to do that, and I felt trapped and I wasn't able to get out of that situation, but I still felt bad about that. All the negative things that I was feeling and thinking towards him. You know, I want to be able to think the best thoughts that I can. And if I'm not thinking that, I still want to be able to have compassion and have a heart when it comes to even when I have frustrated and angry feelings. And I've managed to maintain that for the most part in going through this. I'm like fairy, you know, I'm like orchid in love between fairy and devil, you know, like I just want to be free to love. I wanted my story to be honored. I wanted to love without shame or guilt, you know, all this type of stuff. So anyway, this is what happened with the new moon ritual. This is where it took me back to all of these different stories and all these different parts. And when I went and I watched the fifth element ending, that was when the candle ignited the way it was. So guys, candle magic is powerful. Okay. Yeah. So candle magic is powerful. So if you want to try that, I don't know. Okay. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else before I actually dive into the chat because I'm about to in a second. Especially because I want to see if anyone want me to read to them the herbs that I got. I just really think that you guys should keep in mind if you go and you do these things, be clear in what you're asking for. You know, check your heart, make sure your intentions are pure. You know, what's the real reason? Like you have to know yourself. This is the problem. You have to know yourself. Please don't go into doing candle magic and doing this stuff if you don't know yourself and you don't know your true intentions behind things. Because you can cause a whole lot of other stuff to have to clean up afterward if you don't. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're not honest with yourself and you have all these unconscious things in the background, then that will influence the magic that you do. You know? Oh, that was what it was. That's the other thing I was going to say. I remember now when I was talking about, you know, I don't know how to forgive. He's like, are you going to be able to let go of this? Because I was like, about the maladaptive daydream. I'm like, I don't know. You know, like, and then this is the only time this ever happened. My guide has yelled at me once, and he's whispered to me once. And the time he yelled at me was when I told him I didn't believe him on something. And he was like, we do not require your belief. I'm like, okay, cool. You don't got it right now. So I was going to, you know, do the experiments, run the stuff to make sure I know what I'm talking about here. Cause I gotta know. And then, so yeah, he got real close to me. I could feel it. I literally could feel the presence of someone, and they came right here and they whispered and they said, I'm sorry. And they like backed up. I'm sorry. I was like, oh, you're sorry. I was like, okay, you're sorry. I was like, you're going to be sorry after I go out there and I tell everyone everything now, because I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell everyone everything. This was back when I was still with Braden, right? And I would laugh. There's so many times that I struggled throughout this last 5 years where I would feel bad about certain things. And anytime I would get really sad or feel bad about it, it's like they would always come with some witty, smart-ass comment, and it would just make me laugh. They're like, it would just make me laugh, and I'd be like, okay, well, I guess when you put it like that, it's not so bad, you know. I guess it's love. Why am I fighting love? Why am I feeling bad about just love? That was all it was. I just felt this love, and now I know why. You know, now I know why, and I'm grateful for that. And I think to the end of my life, I will always honor that and be grateful for that and feel that love and that powerful connection. And I'm grateful. This is what I wanted. So I'm getting everything I wanted. And it's like mind blowing. It's like I got to figure out what it is. What do I even really want anymore? Like, I want to help people. So I'm like, God, help me help people. Help me find a way to be able to help people. But yeah, obviously I've still been struggling. And so the song that came through just recently was something happened on the way to heaven. Random ass song. I'm just sitting there. You got to pay attention to the songs that appear. You got to pay attention to the songs that Spirit gives you, like right when you first wake up. If they give you one, or songs that repeat in your mind, and there's a certain lyric that repeats in your mind. You see, I took all the tools and all the information that the people I looked up to, I took all the things they ever shared, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'm not, obviously, I'm a little bit of a skeptic, so I want to be able to prove not only that this is real for me to know, but to be able to then, okay, if it's real and I proved it to me, well, now I can show you, and you can have another person validating your story, basically, right? Like, so this is what I did. I took every single tool they gave me, and I put it to the test. I put it to the test and some. I ran it through all the bells and whistles to see, okay, is what they're saying true? Does this work? Is the songs that come in, are those real? Like, are those meaningful? Is it lighting up? When you're having conversations with people in the back of your mind and you're just talking to them, like, does that have an impact? Like, is that real sympathy? And just so much more, so much more. And so I thought, in sharing that, in fact, that their story, the people that I love their story, like the people that I've been following for years, right? Multiple people at this point. Like, part of what gave me the courage to come out here and share all this stuff with you guys was the fact that they had experiences like that too. So I'm like, how great is that? So I don't have to feel alone. It's almost like, wow, they must be telling the truth, because I have an experience now too. And it's like that. And recently, a while ago, I learned that it's kind of like, I guess, a Gemini thing to do, I guess, when people are like sharing their stories with you. I always thought it was a way to try and show someone that I understand them and that I can relate to the feeling that they're having. Like, I want someone to feel validated, I want someone to feel seen. So I always thought, well, if I give them an example of a time that I also experienced something like that, then maybe they'll feel seen. But it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes people just want to share the things that they've been through, and just, that's it. Like, they just want someone to listen. And so I try to navigate that, the feeling of when I'm supposed to do that and when I'm not, because I definitely don't want someone to feel like I'm trying to steal their spotlight or thunder, so to speak. Like, I only want to validate the people that I love. I only want them to know that I believe in them, because I know that thoughts are things, beliefs, emotions are powerful things. And I'm basically like, as I'm building this connection of belief in everything that they're teaching me, I'm like also making them more powerful in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because even according to like Madoka Magica and that whole thing, every time Homura would go back and try to redo the timeline in a different way, it made Madoka more powerful, more powerful, more powerful. Okay. And so this is what I kind of figured out. It's like, oh, it's okay. So this is why I think it was last year at this time almost, like, I talked about the towers and buttressing your towers against each other for belief, to make your beliefs stable, right? This is what I was trying to offer, was that, hey, you know what? I put it through the test. I put the stuff that you said through the test. And I can tell you that I know that what you're talking about is real and true, because I also have validated this in my own way. And so therefore, if you believe in me, it would be nice. I'll believe in you. It would be nice if you could believe in me too. But it wasn't a requirement. Again, it wasn't a requirement. I was just putting it out there, like let's help fix this world in a way. Let's help fix as many people as we can, because even if it's only one person, that's better than none. Like, that's basically the reason why my favorite Doctor Who character, Peter Capaldi, number 12, okay, that was why Peter Capaldi, his version of the Doctor, this is why he chose the face that he did. He chose the face that he did because it was a face that David Tennant version had saw. David Tennant version of the Doctor, number, what was it? I don't remember which number right now. 10, I think. 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Number 10. And his mission to Pompeii to try and change the outcome of Pompeii with Donna, like him and Donna realized they could not stop the explosion of the volcano, and he was getting ready to leave, and he was trying to tell Donna, like, we can't help anyone, like, this is destiny, it's a fixed point in time. And she was like, please, Doctor, please just save one person, just save someone. And he chooses to save this one family. And the face of the man, the husband in the group, that's the face that ends up being the Doctor's face as number 12. And I just thought that this is part of the reason that I love that Doctor, besides the fact that his motto is always kind. Like, even though he's like, his delivery was sarcastic, he's always like sarcastic and kind of what's the word for it, he's snippy. He's like dark humor a little bit, but he's very so he's got like a dry sense of humor. He's sarcastic, but he always truly, he has a heart. He really cares. Like, he really wants to see the best outcome. He has a good time. He's funny, Yeah. There's another thing I was thinking about in regards to that. And sorry if I'm hoping I'm making sense here and that you're able to follow along with me. I know that I'm basically doing a storyline right now where I'm dipping back into all these streams that I've done and all the information I gave. It's like, so I understand if there's new people here that don't quite get all of it. And it's because this is the lore that I've been building up, and this is the life that I've been sharing, which is multiple lives, multiple levels. And so, yeah, that was the thing. I started to realize that it wasn't just a future person I was talking to, it was all the versions, because that was my intention that I set out. And so things got kind of confusing. Things got kind of confusing. But I know now, like, that was what it was, is that I was just tapping into different versions of this person, and I was my genetic equal, so to speak, and I was communicating with them. Okay. And so, and it made sense to me now, because Clara, she's the one that made the sacrifice. She's the one that jumped into the Doctor's timeline. She's the one that got to see all his faces. They basically thought she was going to be shattered and trapped in that timeline, that the time stream forever. But the Doctor was like, I'm not going to let that happen to her. Okay. And I am going to pull her out of there. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to pull her out of there. And so that's what I felt like had happened to me. And so recently, the song, to get full back around here now, the song that kept coming to my mind was Something Happened on the Way to Heaven by Phil Collins. And I didn't even know that was the song title. I just woke up and I heard it said, it got a hold of me and wouldn't let go, and I want you back. How many times can I say I'm sorry? And I'm like, what song is this? I'm like super depressed, and you're singing that you're sorry again. And I'm just like, how do I forgive then? How do I forgive? And I hold on to the love, and I remember the love, and I stay connected to God, and I don't fall into despair without even really being able to talk directly about it. I come here and I talk about it. But anyway, the last little bit I think I'm going to say, and then we'll get on with it. We'll get on with me actually reading the comments a little bit. I see that. I'm happy to see that people are actually talking, because usually that's a good sign. Although sometimes it's like when you're really interested in what someone is saying, it's like it gets quiet for a while. And I know when that happens, it's because like I have that happen too. So either way, thank you guys for all being here. But as you know, my soul braid walk-in was an inner earth reptilian, which I think the doctor version of the person I connect to, I think that they're an inner earth reptilian of some sort that works with humans. And I think it's a future version of my genetic equal, just the same way as my soul braid walk-in was a future version of me. If that's true, I don't, and we, how do we ever really know? This is just what it feels like. This is just gut instinct, like, I think that's it. I think that I came back here to help him. Like I said, I've maintained this. There was something going on according to the stories that the way they communicate to me with the energy. I have to find the story that it can relate to, because only what this human body has experienced can be pulled from. And if it's not, it's like they have to give me one simple word or something like that to look up. Like you should look up what genetic equal means, or like maladaptive daydream. Even like I had to look that up. Like when they give me or juxtapose, your missions are juxtaposed, like stuff like that. And it's like when I don't know these things, it's kind of exciting. It's like a little treasure hunt, right? So I think that I came to help repair timelines and to get them back on track, and to ask people to choose love over fear, and to ask people to step into their full power, because whether you like it or not, you already are. Like you already are a powerful being. And I've been, considering I have been watching all these people in this community for so long, I can tell you right now that I've seen this person become more powerful. I don't even know if they realize it. Like I see it. I see it in their ability to manifest things, not always positively for the most part though, but they're getting more powerful with it. And I just hope that they're aware of that it's noticeable. And so yeah, our soul groups, we travel together, we come back, we play all different roles to each other, and I think that I tried to steer away from tapping into a past life wife or whatever, and I tried to basically focus on the times that I've been a child and I've been a daughter, because I felt like those were important too, because that was one of the main things that I wished for, or I asked for, was I wanted to know what it felt like to love a man just for his existence alone in this world, because I saw my daughter loving her father like that, and I wanted to know what that was like. And so I thought it would make it more easy and convenient for me to focus on just those child versions, those daughter versions. But it wasn't, because God didn't tell me, that it was a wedding for nothing. God didn't tell me it was a sacred marriage. I didn't find out that, when you meet your genetic equal and you ignite, it's a sacred marriage ceremony. And this is, and you basically, you're fully activated. You know what I'm saying? Like God told, that's the way I was feeling. I was feeling like totally connected and like that. And I just didn't want to step on anyone's toes. You know what I'm saying? But that also caused me struggle. And that also caused me pain, because I felt like I was from the future. I'll be real with you now. I felt like I was a future life wife. That's what I felt like. I felt like, I already sacrificed what's going on here, and that's what it is. I've come back here to try and assist with the timeline, just like Clara did with the doctor, and she jumped into the time stream. And that's what it is. Like, I also felt like this person, I was guided and led to this person because they are someone that specifically assists in reptilian soul braid walk-ins. But I felt that way for a long time too, but I just, never really said that. But I got all these confirmations now. Like, you got everything you wanted and more. But you know what I want? All I want, quite honestly, is just for people to be able to see the beauty of the story, of the experience, of the love. I want them to remember that. I want them to hold on to that. I want them to realize how much it meant. That the biggest regret that I had walking away from that event that night was just that I didn't even stop and take my time to hug them goodbye. Here it is. You come all this way, to find real connection, and you end up finding your fucking genetic equal somehow by chance, and it happens to be the person that you were drawn to all this time and that you made this huge heart wish for, and which literally inspired you to go on to do all these other manifestations to prove to yourself that that fucking one thing happened. And I have this activation and this wedding where all the people, it was like a big party. That's what it was. It's like everything I loved in this one place. And I didn't even hug them goodbye. And that was the biggest regret, because I never thought I would see them again. I need you to understand that, for real. I never thought I would see them again after that. I thought this was a one shot. God gave this to me, and wow, what a beautiful thing. But damn, that was my regret. And it's such a beautiful thing. And honestly, it's even beautiful and feels good to have that. To know that I can feel that level. That again, because that was what I lost when my heart was killed all those years ago. And I had to do this whole work to repair it. And I just don't ever want to go back to that. And I think that's what scared me over these past couple months, was that it felt like I was falling back into that. I wasn't able to cry anymore. Like I was barely able to hold on to those joyful, loving feelings. I wasn't feeling connected. There would be times I would feel connected, and then it felt like it would dissipate again. And it was just like, what the fuck happened here? Like I want to correct anything that has been messed up in any way, so that we all can be back in alignment with love and with joy. Because I did not realize that that single moment was what ignited joy in my heart. I did not realize that. And you don't realize it sometimes until it starts to disappear, right? So I'm just going to continue doing the work. I'm going to continue crying the tears. I'm going to continue feeling the feelings. I'm going to keep praying. I'm going to keep asking God to help me release these energetic anchors so I can keep manifesting my health and wealth and happiness. And that, because, that's the only way that I can assist other people, is if I'm feeling that joy and that connection to something bigger than myself. When I lose that, I felt it. I literally started to curse people. Like I literally started to put it out there. Negative energy, sending it towards people, like not anyone who deserved it either. You know what I'm saying? Just random people, being out there, doing what I do, door dashing and everything like that. Like just bitter, angry, like. And I refuse to stay at that. So I hope that all of you who are listening here, I hope that that made sense to you in the crazy ways that it came out. I hope that on some level that it's meaningful, and that you find some hidden wisdom or truth about yourself in there. And though I know it's hard, like we really got to see the only reason we're even thinking those bad thoughts about other people when we do go to those places is because we're not happy. That? Like that's really all it is. It's like when you have a sunburn and someone touches it and they don't know that you have a sunburn, and now suddenly like you're super angry at them, and it's because the sunburn hasn't healed yet, right? You got to figure out like that's even like, why is that sunburn there? Like that's the wound I'm talking about. What are your wounds that if someone taps it, even you're thinking all these negative bad thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Because it always comes back to something that you're feeling and believing about yourself. And if we really truly have the power to influence each other, then we really need to be on top of what it is that we think. I'm not saying like we can't judge people, like we can't use that frequency of truth and discernment in order to choose to believe or not believe, but we really have to refine it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is I guess this is the last thing I realize now. Because this is what's been leading me down the road of forgiveness. Is understanding. Is now there was so much information I did not have. Okay? I didn't know all of the like, I didn't know some of the nitty-gritty details about people's past experiences that would lead them to maybe possibly have a hard time believing me and believing my stories, right? And I realized, wow, and I cried about it, and that made sense to me, and I released some of that upsetness or whatever, or feel like from feeling not seen or whatever, not seen for who I really am, I guess. And I was able to realize, like, okay, no, like, the reason they couldn't see it is because they have to question it. You know, they have good reasons. They've been betrayed, they've been taken advantage of, they've been talked bad about, you know. So it's tainted them in a way, the same way that I have been tainted over the years. Like, my reputation is not what it was at the beginning. I can see that now. I can see all the fractures, you know, from all the people that are having rumors and all this type of stuff in the community. And so the other thing that they basically said to me when I was so upset about this, like, why, you know, why, God, you know? And it's like, okay, well, people can only identify and experience what they know in themselves, right? Like, you can only know what happiness is. Like, and I've used this example before. Like, if someone's out there and they're all happy and they're giddy and you've never experienced that before, say you're just, you know, a human and you don't even know what that is, and you see someone be happy, and someone asks you, what is that? What do you think they're feeling? What do you think they're experiencing? If you never experienced happiness before, you're not going to even know what to call that. You know, you might call it crazy. You might call it something else completely, entirely different. If you've never had those intentions, if you've never felt that inside yourself, then how are you going to identify it? You won't. You'll have to use something close to that frequency to try and identify that. You have to use the toolbox that you have in order to identify it. And so it made sense to me. And this is what they were saying. It's like, if they never had a reason to push to those lengths that I went through, okay, to be as sincere and authentic and pure, like, could basically have sacrificed all of myself to give it to God so that God could work through me. If someone hasn't gone to that length, they're not really going to truly understand what that feels like inside. You know, like being saved by Jesus. I've given this example before too. I always was turned off by baptisms and religion and all that type of stuff, because when I was 8 and I got baptized and they asked me to accept Jesus into my heart as my Lord and Savior, and I said yes, and I didn't feel any different, and I was like, I'm supposed to feel different. You know, I'm supposed to feel different. You know, like, and like that, just like, okay. And I did, like, for instance, like at the sacred marriage, the event that happened, when that person leaned over to me and they said the code phrase that needed to be said, like for Calypso, okay, the genetic exchange happened, because, you know, there was real meanings behind the ceremonies that people did. The marriage ceremony itself, when the bride kisses the groom kisses the bride, that is the genetic exchange. And back in the day, when people would only line up with what their genetic equal or whatnot, okay, like that activation would happen, you know. And so, because I asked about that one time, I was like, well, like, how did that happen? And they said that it had to do with the breath. They had to do with the exchange of the breath. That music hadn't been loud and they had to lean over and lean in. That might not have happened that way, you know, because there's real meaning behind this. So anyway, back to the Jesus one though. So I'm like completely disheartened, because I'm like, I don't feel any different. I don't feel like Jesus saved me. You know, and it wasn't until I was in my 20s and I did a 40-day mantra meditation program, Buddhist work, that I woke up on the 40th day of my program and I knew for sure I'd been with God, and I knew what it felt like to be saved. I knew that once you go to this level and you go to this depth to connect to God and to prove to yourself that God is real, like, I can never go back to believing that God couldn't be real. I could never go back to that, because I truly know inside it's something you have to, like, the experience, you have to truly digest it and and know what it feels like inside. And if you've never been happy before and you see someone happy, you're not going to know what that is. Now I know what it feels like to be saved. Now I know what it feels like to be fully activated in my God abilities, right? Now I know what it feels like to have married God, a God man, the best version, on a soul level. Like, that's what it felt like. And I'll be forever grateful for it. And like I said, I'm going to do my best to take care of it because that's the gift. And now I see why all these years they basically just told me, don't feel bad about it, is what they said. They just repeatedly told me, it's love. Don't feel bad about feeling love. Because I know for sure when something happens on the way to heaven, right? And I get out there and I say, hey, buddy, let's go look at this. Let's go look at this timeline together real quick. I know in my heart of hearts that no kind-hearted person could look at the truth about all of the things about my experience and how my life was and what my true intentions were. No one could look at that and not want to help me. I just know that. I just do. And so I felt like that song coming to me, that was like confirmation that yes, I was successful. And yes, they want me to be able to let go of any misunderstandings. Because like I said, it's like people can only understand what they have experienced. And so therefore I was that much, I feel like, of an enigma and an anomaly. Because I can see now how much crazies are out there. I hate to say that, but and this person attracts the craziest of the crazies, right? And I'm like, damn. Would they have some kind of beacon for this or something? How am I supposed to stand out? How am I supposed to be seen for real when all these other people, I certainly wasn't like someone who sent 60 messages over every platform or anything like that. But I was persistent. I'll say that. Okay. I didn't realize I was going to be going on that long. I didn't realize how much I guess I had to pour out. But I don't know. I'm really grateful, and I'm glad that y'all been here with me the whole time. I'm excited going forward to be able to find other pieces and parts of myself to come out here and to share with you guys, so that hopefully it can give you guys the example of how to do it and how you can trust yourselves. You know what I'm saying? What true big signs and synchronicities look like, right? Because they literally, like I said, the picture of true love's kiss, the essence of it, my power object, I found it in less than 5 minutes of me desiring it when I went to go do this new moon ritual. So I knew I was meant to do this. And I do think it cleared things up. I do think it helps. I do think that it will at least help the people that I love and care about, and all of us getting back into alignment with, I keep saying that, strike the word alignment, take it away from me. I'm not allowed to use it anymore. I'm overusing the word alignment. But yeah, don't get corrupted from your purpose. Purpose is to choose love over fear. The purpose is to try and see the best in each other, because we influence each other. Our thoughts influence each other. So if at all possible, like I said, no one's ever going to be perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all human. I'm certainly going to yell, what the fuck on the road driving, bro, do you know how to use your fucking turn signal? Why are you stopped on this road? Just fucking go. I'm certainly still going to be doing that. But when it comes down to the bigger things, I really will try to curb my thoughts. Anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at the chat. I'm going to see if anyone wanted to know the herbs I used for my spell. Oh my God, Barry showed up. Hi, Barry. Oh man, Matthew and Honora are here. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate that. Always a pleasure. Life of Brian. Oh, that is lovely. I'm so glad to see you here. Tiffany Marie. Thank you guys all for showing up. Oh, I really appreciate all this. Appreciate the love. Okay. Oh, oh my gosh. Nima. Okay. Guys, I forgot these little fucking nicotine patches thing in my fucking mouth when I started this stream, and they're just chilling in there now. So if you see me doing weird things with my mouth and my lips, this is why. Okay. So what did anyone ask about the herbs though? I feel like I just want to make sure. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, people can relate to it. Oh, I'm glad. I'm really, really glad. Oh. Okay. Oh, Selena showed up too. Thank you, Selena. I'm glad that you're here. Yeah, we do need it. We all need to find a way to meet up. I agree with you guys. If I don't ever see my family again, my soul family, I mean, I was in a place, guys. I was like saying to God, if I don't ever see my soul family again, I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you, God. You know, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, Geraldine. Lovely to see you. I'm glad you showed up. Always, but make sure you hit the thumbs up if you. Oh, I got a lot of thumbs up actually. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Yes, herbal essences. You know, I used to use that. I used to use that. I loved it. It had the best smell. It used to leave the best smell on my skin. It was this body wash they had, and then I started getting these allergic reactions. My skin was always really itchy, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I finally put two and two together, and I realized it was the herbal essences, and I was so bummed because it made me smell so good, and I couldn't use it anymore because it's poison, obviously. Um, anyway, I'm just gonna tell you guys what I used. Okay, so for the herbs and stuff like that, because not every store is gonna tell you what the herbs are good for. I used sweet cinnamon chips, and it says for success, power, attraction, and psychic workings. I used jasmine for love, romance, healing. Okay, I used comfrey root for money, safety, and travel. I thought that was beautiful. Okay, and then oh my gosh, glangular root for protection and hex breaking, in case anyone puts stuff out at us, right? Because I need my family to be right. You know, I need people to be not having tons of terrible shit happening to them nonstop, because that is what I've been watching happen, you know, with a lot of people I love and care about. So yeah. Okay. We did it. I think we said just about everything. I think I said just about everything. And some. So, all right, let's see what some of you guys have been saying. All right. Oh, Jason, I really appreciate you. Like, your support has been such a stable and consistent thing for me. And it, like, if anyone, like, I get worried sometimes, like, is anyone even really going to show up? I know someone's going to show up, right? But like, knowing that you're going to be there and that you just seem to really enjoy my streams, it really has meant the world to me. And so I just really want to thank you for that. You know, like, you guys all really mean a lot to me. Like, being able to come out here and share myself with everyone, it's a lot. Yeah. Barry Littleton says, I'm hanging in there, bro. I'm super interested in what you think about the disclosure community right now. So you must have been talking to someone else. But yeah, the disclosure community seems to be absolutely infiltrated and falling apart, in my opinion. You know, It's the saddest thing. It's like, it scares me even a little bit because I think, were those the happiest years of my life that just went by? I've thought that. Like, was that the happiest time? And I didn't even realize it. And on top of it, I didn't even fully trust myself and believe myself, had all these doubts. I didn't even, like, shit. And obviously, I'm sure I'm sure there's been other points in my life where I felt that way. But I got used to it. Like, even though after that first event where all that happened, and I thought, I'm never going to see these people again. And I honestly felt like that at the beginning ones, every single time I left, I would cry like so hard for days. And it was the best cries. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it's the kind of cry where it's like, it feels good, even though it's sad. It's like, it feels good, And I mean, I would cry in the airport. I didn't even care. You see me fucking crying. I'm like dripping snot over here. Fuck it. Look the other way. You don't want to see this. Like when we had to wear the mask and stuff too. So I'm like, fucking mask. But over time, I got used to it and it became like expected. And so when things kind of fell apart, felt like this year, it was like, wow, this is the first time I've actually had to come to that realization, like that thought. I'd never even had let myself think that anymore. It was like, of course there'll be more conferences. Of course we'll be going to these conferences, Anyway. Okay. All right, I'm scrolling back down to the bottom of the chat. I'll get back to those other ones on my own time, I guess you could say. Oh, it's okay, Joanna. I love you. Thank you for being here at all. Go make your dinner. It is all about supporting each other, Jason. I agree with you. Yeah, I'm a road rager. Shut up, Chris. Of all people, we drove together to the Journey to Truth conference 1 year or 2 years? Was it 1 year? I can't remember which year it was, but second one? It was great fun though. Chris is a good driver. And I'm glad because he didn't make me drive as much as he drove for most of it. Thank God. Because after 3 hours of driving, my hips seize up. I can't. And I already DoorDash all the time. So it's like, he took pity on me. Let's all say, in fact, I just want to take this moment. I just want to say, guys, can we all please say some prayers for Chris? And I hope he doesn't mind because he's got a laundry list of things that have been going wrong for him lately. Like, I'm not even joking. I am putting you out there like this, Chris. I am. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure you don't really care. I know you well enough at this point. But, like, guys, like, his 2 work cars basically became unusable. Like, all this stuff, like, was happening within the past couple weeks. His 2 work cars became almost unusable. He's not getting any flooring jobs coming in. He has to work with his hands and like a lot of back-breaking work. And he's got arthritis and bursitis in his hand. So his hand is constantly killing him, his shoulder, well, his wooden privacy fence literally got blown over the other day, completely blown over. And they have like a new little dog and the dog likes to try to escape. And it's just been like one thing getting hit after another for him. I like, out of all the people, I'm like, this is way overwhelming. I'm like, what is 2026 doing to you, Chris? So if we could, let's just pray that God cleans all this stuff up and puts him back on his path and opens up miracles for all these things to get taken care of, for him to not have to stress and not have to worry. I truly pray that for him, because out of all the people in the soul family that I have, he's been the one that has been there for me the most physically because he lives close to me. And I was so grateful we met the first Journey to Truth conference, because it's like, otherwise there's literally no one around here that I can even talk to about any of this stuff. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. It means a lot to me. I know that your prayers are powerful. I can just tell from your energy that you work really hard on that. You work really hard on your energies. And so I appreciate the work that you do on this planet. Thank you for helping all of us. Because we got to get this collective woke up, guys. And we got to prepare for the fact that we're really going to be starting to get all of each other's thoughts and feelings and everything like that. So please just follow your heart. Follow your heart. Oh, it's fractured. Oh my God. You poor thing. Guys, his hand is fractured. I'm pretty sure that's what he's saying. Thank you, Brian. All right, let's go ahead and pull the fortune cookie, and then we're going to do the tarot cards. And then we're going to head the fuck on out of here. Okay. Oh, it doesn't even tell you how long you've been going now on the screen. It tells me how many people are in here, but it doesn't tell me how long I've been going. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and that was a lot. Just releasing all of that. Up. So, what is the collective need to hear? Which fortune cookie? Oh, I feel like I got into it. This is the one. This is the one, guys. You ready? Oh my gosh. Oh. Fractured. God. That's a word coming up today, huh? Okay. Please goodness. The message that is needed for the collective. See, that's the magic trick, you have to rub your energies on it. There's literally something coming under my door. So I'm guessing that's my kids being like, hey, Mom. All right. Ready? Are you ready for it? Here's the message for the collective. Tonight, love and compassion fill your heart. Thank you. Grateful for that. So get ready for it, guys. Love and compassion will fill your heart. Okay. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to do this real quick. Sorry, guys. I know. Gross. I know. But hey, if it keeps me from smoking, yay. My lungs are feeling better every day. I mean, I did ask to get into alignment with my perfect physical health and to live comfortably in my body every day. And I've been very consistent about that and saying that. And, if this is the place they had to drive me to get me to smoke, I absolutely am okay with that. To drive me to quit smoking, I mean. I'm pretty sure I said that. Anyway, I'm very grateful. So let's go ahead and you guys are attracting Nia. You know you're going to make her want to get out of the room, right? I don't even know. Who is that? Who's outside my door? I know who it is. I'm going to guess it's my daughter. Because it's girls' night tonight, Yes. All right, let's see what the collective energies are. As you know, I have to obsessively shuffle for at least, at least 10 shuffles. I'm going to say at the maximum 10 shuffles, but let's do one more and be done. Well, that's the other thing I was going to say real quick about music. I heard this once, and I might have said this once before too, that I've heard that, the electronics, the technology that they have that can, the voice of God technology, I heard that if you have your own thing that you're repeating on loop, like a song or something, that it can actually block that and block their ability to do that. I don't know how true it is or not, but I've always felt like, oh, well, that felt right. So right now I got a song playing in my head. There is something about you, baby, so right. It's one of the songs I posted at the beginning. Of course, Chris. Of course. All right, okay, for real. Okay, I'm done being distracted. For real. This is the last shuffle. This is it. Yeah, what does the collective need to hear? Okay. I told you like 10 times, guys. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I got to get into that place where I feel myself like click in. Okay, for the collective, for this the upcoming energies, for the equinox, for Aries season. What message do people need to hear, God? Yes, 1, 2, and 3. Oh shit! Can you imagine what that's in response to? Okay, what's the next part? What's the next part of the message for people? Oh God, 2 cards came out. Okay. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Last part. Okay. What's the last part? Okay. Interesting. Okay. Guys, hold on to your seatbelts because the first card we got going forward is the Tower. So there has been some very shocking developments. Okay. There's been some epiphanies, some realizations that have been coming to you. They're really going to shake you up. All right. So as you know, my belief about the Tower is that your tower is basically your belief system, is your personal belief system. And the stronger you build your belief system, the stronger your tower is. And the more it can take it when these tower moments come, you won't completely be brought down to the foundation of what you are. You know what I'm saying? As if you have strong beliefs. Okay. Now, how do you know what strong beliefs are? Well, you know by how easily they can be maintained once challenged, right? A belief that cannot be challenged is a belief that deserves to fall. Okay. You should be allowed to challenge stuff. All right. And if it is true, then it should have a certain strength to it and you should be able to stay grounded. All right. So I just want you to know that you are probably going to be tested. Okay. There's new information that's coming to you. Okay. And it's time to stop and take a look at and see. It's like, okay, well, what did I believe? Okay. What do I believe about myself, about other things? Like what needs to change? Is there something I got wrong? Like this is your opportunity to do that and to rebuild because you want to have a strong tower. Because your tower is basically a representation of your spirit and your ego personality having merged as one and built up, a beautiful tower. You build it up together, like what is it? The snakes that go, the Kundalini energy, that goes up. So keep that in mind that we are going to be breaking down some truths. Okay. And so then I got 2 cards that came out at the same time. Yeah, it's big, bada big boom. Big boom. All right, so Fifth Element. I know, I love that. Anyway, all right. I always think about that scene. I love that scene. Stop. Get me distracted. Okay, so 2 cards came out here. So I'll just show you the first one that popped out on top. We got the 4 of Cups. So here's the thing. You've been thinking about something. Perhaps you are thinking about your beliefs. Perhaps you are thinking about, certain emotions and things like that. You're asking a certain question and it's kind of an emotional question. It has to do like with the realm of feelings because that's what cups are. And it's like this guy, he's staring up in the distance when really the answer, they're like giving him the answer right there, right? It's like, you know what? It makes me think of this meme that I posted a long time ago. And it was like, it said basically, it was this card in another form. And it said, just take the fucking cup, bro. Like, just take the cup. Like, we're giving you the cup of love, like, just take it. So it's like, you're wondering, you're thinking, you're like, I wonder, is the, like, the stereotypical thing is, I wonder if the grass is greener on the other side type of thing, but it's not necessarily that might be true for you or any of the other things that I'm mentioning might feel true. Whatever resonates with you, go with that one. So anyway, the card we got behind it is, what are we thinking about? Like, what are we asking questions about? The Lovers card, one of my favorite cards, the most beautiful card, aside from the Star card. Okay, so we're thinking about the lovers and seeing someone and truly being united with someone, and not just with a person outside yourself, but with God and your, for men, your divine feminine, and for women, your divine masculine side, and making sure that those come into full union. It's a card where it's like it's a request to be seen. I mean, on a deep level, on a soul level. There's nothing more powerful than that when you can give that gift to someone and be like, wow, you know what? I really see it. I really see it. So we got the Tower, right? So we got these epiphanies coming through. Okay, we're wondering, we're thinking like, oh, we're thinking about this stuff, not really taking any action, even though Spirit's kind of been telling us the whole time. And then we got the Lovers card, which is all about being seen, all about feeling connected to another person, feeling connected to yourself, feeling connected to the spiritual, sacred. Okay, and then the last card we got before under the hidden influences is we got the Two of Swords. So it's like, oh man, which decision are we going to make? So it's almost like, especially when we're talking about the Tower card here, it's like, which beliefs are we going to cut? Which thoughts are we not going to think anymore? Like, you don't. It's like, perhaps for a time you haven't really had all the information to be able to make a real decision, to be able to know which sword to swing, because that's the thing, she's got a blindfold on. And so now it's like, now once those epiphanies happen and those realizations come through, I just feel like you need to follow your heart, is what it is. Which way do you want to, which sword do you want to use? Which axe is going to swing down? Because that's what it's about. It's about feeling like in limbo. Okay. So, man, I mean, these energies are appropriate for the astrology and stuff like that coming through right now. I do feel like too. So, especially Aries energy. I mean, Aries energy has really been affecting me lately. It's going to make you a lot more. Not only do we have it's Aries season, but we got like planets that have just gone into Aries too that haven't been there for a while. And so it's really making people get fired up and want to take actions that maybe they don't really think about ahead of time. They're just ready to act, you know what I'm saying? And like Aries people, like, they need to fight. It like gives them meaning and purpose. It's like, but they don't need to do it in a way that's like vicious or, cruel or anything like that. But it's like it releases pent up energy and stuff for them. So it's like now we're all kind of embodying that and taking that on. Like, I've noticed, I even had a talk to my girlfriends about it, but like all of our Aries children have like the same type of attitude, which is like, they feel okay to be like, just shut up, mom. Like, I was like, isn't that funny? Because I was like, one of my sons, he wasn't very much like that, but I can tell he's kind-hearted, really. You know what I'm saying? He's a softie. So when he says these things, I never take him seriously, but it's like, that's the type of energy they bring forward. It's like, they need that. So just know that you could be feeling that way a lot more than usual, and it makes sense. It's okay. We're going to learn how to use that fire. This is what the purpose is. We're going to learn how to use that fire and use that fight to help each other unite and hopefully take actions in a way that start to wake up the rest of us, because we're all really like one being ultimately, right? We're all derived from source. So, okay. So anyway, the last part I got for the hidden energies. So for all of this, the hidden energies that we got is the Page of Rods. So it's kind of funny because I was just talking about Aries energy, and it might be being new for you and not being used to it, because that's what the Page of Rods is about. He's a fiery guy, right? He's learning how to act in a new way. He's learning how to take new actions. Okay. And so it's not going to be usual, but the thing is that Page of Rods, they usually have really good beginner's luck. So when you start off taking these new actions and expressing yourself in this new way, You'll probably be really lucky at first, but don't get too cocky because it's very easy for you to think that you got it. And then next thing you know it, you're like dropping the ball. Okay. So, like, forgive yourself for that. Not that I'm one to really be the best example of that because, like I said, I have a really hard time forgiving myself for anything. It seems like any types of mistakes. Um, but anyway, but that is the advice that I feel like coming through is that you should definitely forgive yourself if you're not great at it right off the bat. Like, don't give up, keep pursuing it because practice makes perfect, and anything worth having is worth fighting for. It's worth working towards. It's worth being dedicated to. Okay. The other thing about this card is I've always looked at it as a messenger card. So it's like, or even a traveling card. So maybe you're getting ready to travel and you're getting ready to take messages to people or a message to a person, right? So just be on the lookout for that. So I guess to wrap this all up, or to wrap up the tarot reading we got here, right? Remember, we got the Tower. So we're reconstructing our belief system. We got the Four of Cups. So we're wondering, okay, in which ways do we need to reconstruct this belief system when it comes to emotions with this new information that we've been given that Spirit is giving us in regards to feeling seen and feeling connected to others on an intimate level. Okay. And then what decision are we going to make and how we express that or verbally communicate that? Okay. Maybe that's not really clear to you right now because we got that blindfold on. So you're not really sure which way you're going to go about that. Like, you're going to, how you're even going to respond to that. And then lastly, the hidden energies that you have working around you, though, are that you're going to be taking new energies and you're going to be doing things in a new and different way. You're going to be, it's going to be new, but you're going to have luck at it. Okay. And practice makes perfect, and don't give up. Just keep on trying because we're really going to get somewhere. Oh, you hear that? Sarah, would you please just let Nia out since you teased her so much? Thank you. Go ahead, grab her. You know she ain't going to go without you grabbing her. Grab her. Rib her up. All right, there we go. She got her. Okay. So I hope that helps. Oh, there we go. There's another one over here. Matthew is just letting us know that the Page of Wands can outlast all of them. So that's great. So basically, out of all the pages, they're the ones that can keep going the longest because, I mean, fire is very potent energy, right? Fire is very potent. So, so you'll have a lot of stamina is what I'm taking that to mean, is you're going to have a lot of stamina when it comes to these new ways that you're going to be acting and getting it right within yourself. Really, ultimately, get it right within yourself. Mm-hmm. I got a good feeling about this. I know Tower can be scary when it rolls through, for all of us, any of us, but I really want to live my life not in fear. And not only I've asked since November for them to help me clean out all my fears, but now I'm asking for them to help clean out all my energetic anchors. I highly suggest that you do the same and don't be scared of it. It's okay. Like, it has to come out. You don't have any, I didn't have any idea how much grief and sadness I was truly suppressing in my body and ignoring by only paying attention to the good stuff and the things that made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm not going to say that when I first started this whole journey, I was able to process on a regular basis, but the traumas make you want to dissociate and take you out of your body in a way to where it leaves. If you don't allow yourself to feel those feelings, they'll stay there and they have to come up and out because it's the only way you're going to start raising your energetic frequency so that way you can get on those higher timelines, because higher timelines of love and joy are going to be at a higher frequency. It's just the best way I can describe it. Like, and who doesn't want that? I'm sorry. Who wants to be in a negative timeline where fucking World War III is happening and America is dying and, and you're in this constant spiral of, am I going to fall into despair and turn into a witch or something like that, wraith, whatever. Like, no one wants to be on that timeline. So let's get off of that timeline. Okay? Let's get off of that timeline. We're done. Okay, I want to know how long I've gone because I was thinking about pulling cards for people in the audience, but let's see. It's been what, an hour and wait. 2 hours and 20 minutes? Okay, 2 hours and 20 minutes is pretty good. Well, unless anyone has any questions, I'm going to wait over 2 hours. You know, I can't go under 2 hours. You know this. I told you, like, that was literally one of the goals I set out when I fucking started this channel was I'm like, I want to go out there and be cool. Like the people that I watch their live streams and they do like 2-3 hours, sometimes 4. Like, can you believe it? Like, that is just how, like, that's just so, I love, it's like a party when we get together. It's like a little, I don't know. It's like a little stream party. It's like that. I wanted to be able to do that with my friends here. Yeah. Why you? Oh, Nima, you'll be okay. When you're young, you think any physical injury that happens is like going to be the death of you. But I can tell you, as a 44-year-old woman who has been to hell and back physically and had 6 kids and had to recover from them each and every time, like, I promise you, that neck pain will heal. There's not permanent damage done. I'm just going to tune into you real quick. I mean, I did tell you it was going to hurt. I can feel the stiffness. I did tell you it was going to hurt for a while. He did, like, someone basically massaged him, adjusted him wrong, pulled a muscle on him. It's going to be okay, though. That's all I want to say. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Oh, Anchor Haven showed up. Oh, I was just about to leave Anchor Haven. You caught me at the very tail end. It's such a pleasure to have you here. I was on Anchor Haven's show. Was it last week? I can't remember. Anyway, we had a great conversation. If you want to go over there and take a listen, it's on her channel. If one of my mods can find her channel and put it out there. I had such a wonderful time. We really do use a lot of the same tools when it comes to getting to know ourselves. So it was really nice to have that kind of a back and forth with someone, even though I really wish that there was more overlap between the things that we both were watching, there's the TV show wise and how spirit talks to us, because it seems like we were always just like one off from it. It's like, oh, you watched Doctor Who, but it was like the way earlier version. And so it's like, it always is sad for me when I find another Doctor Who fan, but I don't know the doctor that they love. It makes me sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, I love talking about Doctor Who and all the concepts behind that show. So, yes. Yes, we need to go prep for the next one. Absolutely. I would anytime I would love to come. You're very easy to talk to. So it was a lot of fun, guys. Her channel name is Anchor Haven. Yeah. If you guys want to go give her a follow, definitely give her a follow. Okay. Okay. Shut up. Oh my God. Why am I I'm being so mean to you today, Chris? I'm sorry. Like, another 40 minutes. You get on here and do another 40 minutes. I can't do another 40 minutes. I mean, I probably could, but stop it. Stop it. God. Anyway, yeah, there's Anchor Haven. Okay, guys, for anyone watching here, make sure you check out the live chat replay because Anchor Haven's channel is there. And I want to get the people that I am connected to and that I actually like enjoy watching their streams or enjoy interacting with them. I want those people to have the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So the channels I would recommend, okay, obviously would be, wow, we got messages retracting and everything. What's going on here? Anchor Haven, obviously remember your mission. Okay, that one. If you aren't following that channel already, what are you? Come on now, like, quit playing with me. Um, Unscripted Liberation Codes, great channel. Typical Skeptic, love that guy. There is some others that I'm trying to see if there was any others that I watched. I don't know, I actually have been watching a lot of Lauren Pritchard's shorts and stuff like that. I really like the way her mind works. You know what I'm saying? She's got a very unique perspective on things. So I definitely would suggest maybe even following her, giving her a little listen. Yeah. Yeah, of course, of course. It's my pleasure to promote my friends here. It's my pleasure. Oh, you're doing a show with Matthew next week. Oh, that will be fun. Yay. Yay. Another live stream party. I'll be there. Oh, you know who else? Don Rogers. I actually really like that guy. And BJ Cast. I didn't stream last Friday. He streams on Fridays too, so he is kind of my competition. But I'm willing to give him a shout out still because I think he's a really cool guy. And he had quite the story of awakening and everything like that. So definitely give Don Rogers March 4th Productions a follow and BJ Cast. I did a show with them, a Rick and Morty episode show at one point, and those guys are just fire. So yeah, I think I might have wait a second. Sea Beach. Can I ask the cards a quick question? You always do this to me at the end of the stream. Most of the time I don't even catch you asking. You know what I'm saying? Until the stream is literally closed. You crack me up. Okay, what do you want to ask? I'll be very quick. I'll do a 1 card pull. Just because, why not? So yeah, go ahead and ask. Yes. I will. Okay. All right. We will do a random card for you too, Anchor Haven. Yes. All right. But Sea Beach, is there a question? I know you have a question. Is it going to be about finances coming through or something again? Like, what is it going to be? I hope I was right last time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait. Here we go. Hey there, James. I don't think I gave you a shout out. Hello. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll definitely have to check that out. James Wilkes. I also might be on Veronica Bartoli's channel, I think, possibly on the 26th. I don't know. We just got a hold of each other because she liked one of my posts that I made. She wanted to have me on her channel. Oh, you can't forget Barry. Oh, my God. Victor, if you let me forget Barry. Oh, my God. I would have been carrying that with me. Oh, the guilt and the sadness. But yes, Barry is one of the originals. My God, he's Soul Family. He's one of the originals that was at the whole shenanigans. There's a word I'm thinking. The shebang. Like, I don't know what word it is. But anyway, Sea Beach. All right, okay. Thing, and I got a Page of Pentacles. It was not happened yet, and I'm bummed. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Sea Beach. I was really hoping. So is that what you're wanting to ask for again about the financial thing? Mm-hmm. The financial thing. I'm going to guess it's what it is. So I'm going to do this. Sea Beach. Whatever it is that he wants to know right now, we're going to give him the answer to his question. Okay. What is it that he needs to know about this question that he has? Or she. I honestly don't even know. Sea Beach, what is your real name even? I don't even know. Are you a boy? Are you a girl? I'm sorry. Like if I call you the wrong thing, I apologize. But anyway, okay. What does Spirit want to tell? What's this financial thing? 1, 2, 3. Hey. Oh boy. Okay, so something is going on. Okay, something is being hidden from you. Okay, so something's not being communicated to you properly. Because this guy, he's the 7 swords, right? He's like he's taking all these swords and he's just walking away with them. Is he stealing them? Like, I don't know, but he's like, it's almost like he's leaving a couple things behind, but he's trying to sneak off like a thief in the night with the rest of these things. So I would say someone possibly associated with this is not being completely honest with you about things. Chris Beechwood. I had a feeling you were a Chris. I don't know why. Something just told me. But yeah, so someone is not telling you everything. They're telling you a little bit. They're giving you a little bit to hold on to. Right? That's what I see with those 2 swords. Okay, but Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're getting clarity on that. Is there? I'm gonna just pull one more card for clarification. What can he do about this? You know, how does he get that information out? Then, what advice does Spirit have? How does he get that information? How to speed that up? Okay, so there's some women that you need to connect to. Okay, some type of socialization going on here. You're sharing ideals, you're sharing emotions. So it's like you need to get at someone on an emotional level in order to get them to open up. Could be like a social setting of some sort. So I don't know who is associated with this, but if you can get them in a group, you know, like hang out with them, so to speak, even like like I'm not sure how this would play out because I'm not sure of the details of what this is all about. But regardless, it is saying that you need to gather and you need to join your cups together, and then you need to figure out like how do you relate to them on a human level to get them to want to open up and share the rest of that information that might be it's okay. I got an example. It's like this. It's like when I'm door dashing, okay, and I go into a store and my order is not ready yet, and it's not going to be worth it for me to wait 20 fucking minutes for this damn order. But if the people who work there don't tell me, and they know, oh, it's going to be, oh God, it's going to be 20 minutes before this woman's order is ready. If they don't tell me that and they're just like, it'll be a few minutes. Well, then I get fucked because I'm like, I'm waiting that time, right? I'm waiting. I'm thinking maybe 5-10 minutes. When if they just said, hey, it'll be 20 minutes from now, I can unassign the order and get another order and keep going and not and make the most money in the most time that I can. So it's like that's the way I feel like someone's not being honest with you. It's like they're just saying something like, oh, well, you know, it'll clear up in a couple weeks, or like it'll clear, like this information's gonna come through first, you know, and it's like, okay, they're just not being flat out honest with you about something. And you need to find a way to convince them that. And so this is what, and that's what I do when I'm in the restaurants. I'm like, when it does happen like that, I'm like, if you just let me know ahead of time, please. I'm like, and sometimes I just ask, I'm like, is it going to be like 5 minutes or is it going to be like 15 minutes? Because I said, because if it is, I try to appeal to their like sense of, because they're always afraid like you're going to be angry at them for the fact that you're having to wait, because a lot of people are. And I mean, I've been there, but it's like if you find a way to convey it to them in a way where it's like, hey, listen, I'm not upset. Like, I know you have no control over the orders, how long they're taking and being made, but if you could just be honest with me and tell me what the full wait time is, then I can make a proper decision. Like, you're not being given the information, you need to make proper informed consent or choice. There we go. I hope that helps. Chris. Oh man. Okay. So wait. Ever used the Starman deck? No, I have not. Actually, this is my favorite deck. It's the Aquarian Tarot. And I've had it since, been using it on and off since my 20s. Because I fell in love with it in my 20s, and I'm just like, you know, I've had this for like 20 years too. You know, like once I fall in love with something, it's just like, like I love this thing. I love it. Okay, so Anchor Haven. Okay. Wait, it was created by David Bowie? I'll have to look into that, James. I'll have to look into that because I do love David Bowie. Okay. So, is there a specific... Oh, you just wanted a random card, right? You just wanted a random card. Well, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that confirmation. Thank you. It really helps. So, thank you for giving me that. Okay. So, Anchor Haven. We're going to do a quick card for you, Anchor Haven. All right, tuning into your energy. Oh, there you are. Yes. Okay. Don't worry, I won't do the obsessive 10 shuffles. I'm going to do those that much. That's it. That's all the shuffling we need now. For Anchor Haven. Okay. What does Spirit need? Julia. No. For Julia. Okay. What do they want to tell her? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Boop. Oh, wow. Look who came out. Happens to be the hidden energies of our collective card pull. So the energies right now is for you to possibly be traveling, to be delivering a message of some sort. Okay, but it's also that you're going to be taking actions in a new way. You're going to be taking new actions. You're going to be doing something that you don't normally do. Okay, and like I was saying earlier, like beginner's luck really comes good with this guy. But the thing is like, don't beat yourself up if, even though you have beginner's luck, that maybe the next time that you do it, like you aren't so successful on it. Like practice makes perfect. Keep working. Okay, like this guy has the most endurance of the pages. So like, don't give up, but keep going. If you're going to be taking a trip soon, the message you are going to be delivering will be received well. So that's what I got from that. Okay. I like that card for you. Yes. I like that card for you. Okay. I'm like, don't look at the bottom of the deck. I like to look at the bottom of the deck because I feel like it's the hidden energies. You might feel like you don't. Okay, I'm just going to do it. The hidden energies for you is the Eight of Swords. Okay, so it feels like, again, it's funny because we got the Two of Swords, which reminds me a lot of the Eight of Swords in the collective reading too. So it's like, that's kind of interesting. So you might not have all the information that you need yet to make a decision on something. Okay, so this is like you're in the realm of thoughts here on this one. So the other one is like taking new actions, but then you're like, maybe you're overwhelmed, like, what actions do I take? It's like, and this is really hard to do when it's like you feel pressured, like you need to make a decision now. It's like, be patient. um like, you're going to have to wait for that inspiration in your heart to, I feel like, to really push you into making a move, so that way you lean up against one of those swords and free yourself. Okay, because that's the thing about the Eight of Swords being all tied up like that. It's like you're overthinking, and you need to just choose one thing. Okay, once you get all of that information. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay. Sounded like something crashed. Oh, that was just my phone buzzing. My phone was going burn, burn. It's over here on the table right there. Good ears. Good ears. Okay. Yes. Love you. Love you guys. Oh, I feel better. I did it. I needed to feel better. I did it. Anyway, so trying to think if there's anything else that I want to say or show before I take off. Is there anything else anyone else wants to say? If I stayed another 40 minutes, I swear to God. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Oh, I only stayed another 20 minutes. I was like, if Chris ends up being right, if Chris Beanie ends up being right, that I end up out here for another 40 minutes, I'm going to punch him in the arm. You know? Oh my God. Oh, I feel the love. I feel the love. Thank you guys. Okay. I'm going to wait for the little bit of the time delay, see if there's anything else coming up. Yeah, I'll give him a crispy arm. Exactly. Well, yes, I will. Pull 7 cards for you now. Well, damn it, Chris. No, I'm kidding. you can call and get that card, friend. I don't even ever pull 7 cards anymore. I pull basically just 3 in the one, or just one at a time lately. So Chris is ridiculous. He's funny guy. He's very funny guy. Uh-huh. Very funny. All right. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah, there was the song. I think I said it. The song was "Something Happened on the Way to Heaven" by Phil Collins, and it was basically, it kept repeating one part of it, and it just kept saying, like, I didn't even know all the lyrics. Like, now I feel like it's like it all came back to me, but at the time I was like, how you sing one part of it, and you're like da 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 da, like, and you sing the other part, but it just kept saying, "How many times can I say I'm sorry?" And but there was another part to it. It was like, how did it go? It went like, Please believe in me. You can run and you can hide, but I'm not leaving unless you come with me. We've had our problems, but I'm on your side. You're all I need. Please believe in me. Yeah, that's what. And they kept singing that, and I was like, what a random ass song to wake up to at 5 a.m. Just that freaking lyric. And I didn't even. I'm like, I searched it up what I heard. And it was like something about heaven or something happened on the way to heaven. Do. You gotta listen to it, guys. Yeah, you got. Phil Collins was, yeah, for his time period, like he was fired. He was fired. Let's just admit it. You know, let's just stop playing. He can feel it coming in the air tonight. I mean, who doesn't want to do that? You know, I mean, what movie was that made that like famous? The Hangover. The Hangover. It was great. Yeah. Thank you, White Swan. I appreciate that. I know. I can't stop. I can't stop, Jason. You guys got me fired up. Oh yeah, Phil was fired. Yeah, he was. Oh, thank you, Kay. Thank you. Okay. It does seem like we're wrapping it up. It does seem like we're pretty good. All right. So on that note, yes. Yeah, we are still at, I'm just now leaving, Joanna. I'm just now leaving. I know. I'm pulling a long one today. Like, I guess I had a lot to clear out, you know. I did pull 9 of cups for myself earlier when I asked about my stream, so I'm not really surprised. I was like, oh, we're gonna go pour it all out again. Yay. Let's do it again. Let's keep going. Why not? You know? Anyway, yeah. Oh. Oh my god, guys. Well, I'm glad. And I'm glad that y'all had fun here and that hopefully I was comprehensible because like I said, I don't come out here with any notes hardly anymore and I don't ever really have a plan and I just kind of pray all night. Literally, I prayed like 2 hours last night. Just not that I was trying to fall asleep, but I couldn't but I was relaxed. I just sat there and I just prayed and just was like, God, like please help me say the things that need to be said and you know, help me convey the message, help me do your work. Help me share myself in a way that can be understood and be seen. You know, I love you guys. I can't stop saying that. Anyway, so just remember, don't get corrupted in your purpose. You don't want to turn into a Davy Jones. You know, we got this guy here. I love this guy. I love Cthulhu guy. Mothman, Mothwomen. I'm just gonna tap into the flow. Heck yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying. Yeah, that's exactly that. That's a good way to put it. Tapping into the flow. Yeah. I'm glad you guys understand. Wait, what? Wait. Thanks, moth thing? Um, you're talking about the moth woman? Mothman? Love the Davy Jones story, Jason says. Me too. I mean, you guys know I love that. I've been talking about being Calypso for, 3 years ago I talked about that for the first time because I was literally living with the Davy Jones. And he had a tattoo over his chest that said, come and take it, over his heart, which that's the whole point of Davy Jones when he becomes the captain of the Flying Dutchman. He's got to carve out his heart and put it in the ship, right? And then this guy in the spirit's like, oh, that guy's Davy Jones. I'm like, oh, he's Davy Jones? And he's like, yeah, I have this tattoo in Greek. It says, come and take it. I was like, holy shit, you're Davy Jones, bro. I was like, you are Davy Jones. Oh, you're just being silly? That's normal for you. Okay. All right, for real now, though. For real. I'm going to go. And don't forget our fortune cookie. Tonight, love and compassion fill your heart. Okay? So, how do I even end the stream? Oh, there it is. Oh, there's the timer. Oh, okay. 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Or 2 minutes and 40. 2 hours and 44 minutes, 34 seconds. There we go. Have a good weekend. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my life here. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for staying this whole time. For all of you guys that hung out this whole time, like, really appreciate you. Give me a thumbs up. Share this out if you think anyone might watch it, even though people sharing things usually doesn't do much, but I still do for the people that I care about, you know, and the stream. Like if I watch a good YouTube video, I try to post it, honestly. Um, Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. For any lurkers back there, come on, I deserve a subscription. Quit playing. Quit playing with me. You know, like just hit the subscribe. You know you want to. Oh, look, there's a new little name. Oh, 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 I can't pronounce that. So I can't really see it. I'm sorry. Hi, 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 though. Hi, hi, hi. I'm about to leave, though. I'm sorry. Bye, bye, bye. I hope you subscribe. Hit thumbs up. Thanks for being here. All right, I'm really going to do it. All right. I'm on the end screen. Bye.